about them Bucs, baby?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on a Monday night. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Your Rolex reporter, what time is it? It's my time. And of course, for fans of the Sports Web, the Tampa Bay sports fan, especially you Go Bucs fans, you Raise Up fans, you Bolts fans out there, it's your time. So how do we start off this good time on a Monday night? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we will recap the rookie mini camp that just happened with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll get Mr. J.C. Allen of Twitter, which, by the way, he is celebrating. I want to read this text message really quick here. Stand by. This from JC and his Twitter account, which I'm really proud of. Very excited and thankful to announce that I'm joining Bucs Report as an analyst and writer. This is 6 years ago. I've always had the passion for football and sports in general. To be able to have the opportunity to do what I love and build a career is a dream come true. Show starts at 9 p.m. tonight with the one and only Peter H. Blake. here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'll be sharing the stream on my Facebook. Catch me at 9:30. He will be on with us at 9:30. You've come a long way, my friend. I'm very proud of you. 6 years since then. If you want to know why I do this show in the first place, this is the reason why. That is the reason why. J.C. Allen, who we are starting a platform like Bucs Report, because at the time, there was a platform. People were coming on there live, but we were doing it right. We were doing shows 5 days a week. I said 5 days a week. Because it was COVID going on. You had a pandemic going on. You had Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and the excitement of that Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. And to be a part of that and be a part of that guy's career from the very beginning, I take pride in that. I do. So we'll have him on. But that is one of the main reasons why I do this show. If there's one thing you can do in this life, if there's one thing I've always said in this life that you can do, is make an impact on somebody, inspire somebody. And I know sometimes I inspire nonsense. I know sometimes I inspire thought. I know sometimes I inspire laughter. But when you can inspire somebody to do what they love and go through with it and absolutely kill it, which he has done, whether it's for a Pewter Report, whether it's for Sports Illustrated, whether it's for a Bucs Report, whether it's for the Sports Web, or now whether it's for Twitter, I'm all about that. So we'll definitely get his Bucs thoughts as always. Love that. I friggin' love that. I do. You just don't know how much. Again, you get into this business, I can't say it enough. And you just... You go through the rough spots and you do these shows and people are laughing at you because you're starting a YouTube channel. And then you actually have people that are inspired by you, bro. That's friggin' amazing. It's friggin' amazing when you get phone calls. It's friggin' amazing when people actually care about what you have to say. That's friggin' amazing. I love it. I can't say enough about it. So we'll take your phone calls as always. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. In case I missed you, took my mother and my sister out to the new Michael Jackson movie. It was good. You're a Michael Jackson fan, go and see it. If you're not, go see it anyway. Get an education. It's like a free concert. Unbelievable. So again, happy Mother's Day. Of course, let me announce this. May 11, 2026, Todd Bowles is still your head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's exciting.
It is exciting, Todd. Absolutely. Of course, this show brought to you by, because I'm feeling the energy right now, Up the Block Barbershop. You don't have to go far. It's Up the Block Barbershop, 4946 Moog Road in Holiday, Florida. Whether it's a haircut, a beard trim, a fade, they got you covered. Tell them the Rolex reporter Peter Blake sent you. Go see my favorite barber, Ricky, and all the talented barbers there at Up the Block Barbershop. If that wasn't enough, this is a true test for you Bucs fans out there. Bucs content every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 to 15 minutes. It's Bucs Latest on YouTube. Have you subscribed to it yet? We're at 910 subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the week. I think we can do that. What do you think? I think we can do that, Bucs fans. So again, go like and subscribe to Bucs Latest there on the Fan Arch Network. And of course, we're on TikTok, not only on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live. I'll try to be professional. Probably won't happen. I'll try my best. But also TikTok, part of the Carter Agency, because it's more than the game. We appreciate them giving us the opportunity to show everybody what the evolution of sports talk television. And as always, once again, we will take your phone calls because I want to know, how excited are you about this rookie minicamp? How excited are you about this 2026 NFL draft class? And oh, by the way, your Tampa Bay Rays are winning right now, 7-3 over the Toronto Blue Jays, who, by the way, are 26-13, in case you haven't noticed. So that is absolutely on the table. This is the evolution of sports talk television. If you're tuning in for the first time, what is the sports web? It's a cross between a TV and radio show without the stations, with the sound effects, with the engagement, with phone calls, as always, because you guys make the show. The Tampa Bay sports fan makes the show. Guys like J.C. Allen make the show. Harry the Greek make the show. Ray Kennedy makes the show. Louis Lateo makes the show. TJ Reeves makes the show. Jason Powers makes the show. Can you tell I'm pumped up? I'm pumped up. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Eric leading off here on the evolution of sports talk television. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Let's go, buddy. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, buddy. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great tonight too. On a wonderful Monday, Rays about to win and about to have a 2-game lead in our division.
We'll see. It's the 7th inning. We never say it's over until it's over. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I remember that before. I remember those before. Oh yeah.
Yes, I got you. All right, man. What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, man. I love the rookie minicamp. Ruben Bain is a monster, man. How do you feel about number 99 Warren Sapp, man? He had the Warren Sapp jersey on.
Love it. I love the salute to the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, I'm all about the history of it. I think it's so cool. It's a great thing. And what Todd Bowles had to say, we'll get into that. But yeah, I just love it. Yeah. And then you see him on film or on the highlights there, and he looks like he's highly motivated. So I know how you're feeling about this.
I think he might impact Vita Vita more. Yeah, Kansas. I really think he's going to he might win Defense Rookie of the Year.
There you go. Well, let's absolutely hope so at this point.
Yeah, you're right, man. If he was to miss some place for the Bucs to make the playoffs, or maybe not say Super Bowl, it might take us. If he was to miss some piece, that'd be freaking awesome. If he was.
Well, there's a lot of missing pieces on this team. We'll see. You know, again, it's easy to get excited about, you know, Ruben Bain Jr. and Keontae Scott and Josiah Trotter and Ted Hurst and DeMonte Capehart and the guard from Notre Dame. I mean, it's easy to get excited.
We have to wait for the pass.
Yep.
We have to wait for the pass to come on.
You have to wait for him. Yes.
I want to see what he could do against Tristan Wirfs and OTAs.
Well, that'll be a good test. You definitely mentioned a great point that it'll be a good test versus those two bookend tackles, whether it's Luke Gedeke on the right side or Tristan Wirfs on the left side. Eric, what else is on your mind tonight?
How do you feel about the schedule? How do you feel about the Week 1, the Cowboys and Giants?
I think it stinks. That's what I think. I think like Tom Brady.
That's going off the shop right there.
I like to see another matchup. Can we see another matchup besides Cowboys and Giants? Is there any way in the world that the broadcasters, NBC, I think it's on NBC, can they just stop broadcasting Cowboy games? Because I get it, there are always the expectations there, and Dak Prescott's making $60 million, but have we grown tired of this matchup with the Cowboys opening up? Why are the Cowboys opening up once again? I get it because they're against the Giants. Football's back. That's all I can say. We will be live. Listen, we will. Yeah, well, that's certainly possible, man. He is starting off as a new coach. It's a good point. Eric, appreciate the call as always, okay?
Yeah, I got one more thing. And John Cooper would not be fired at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jonathan Cooper is here to stay.
Yes, he's here to stay. Of course he is. Good comment. As always, use the second call. Eric, appreciate you. As always, yes, we will be live on Thursday night for the schedule release. So it will be a busy week tonight. Tonight, Wednesday, and Thursday. I think we'll be live about 8 o'clock. So we got you covered when it comes to the evolution of sports talk television and your schedule release. Oh, but the John Cooper thing, that's nonsense. Anybody suggesting that John Cooper should be fired at this point, that's just nonsensical. So we're not going to address that. Let's go out to our texting line. Again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars are open. YouTube super chats are open. If you like the content, give to the content. Our number one, give to the content. Let's go back out to the phone lines. Let's go out to Alex. Alex, welcome to the Evolution.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, boss? How you doing?
first and foremost, as I always start when I call, first of all, appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Love the show.
Thank you.
Love what you're doing, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Congratulations as well. Got some free tickets last night. Congratulations on that.
Yes, we did. Now,
Let's go.
I know
Which,
who.
by the way,
Yes.
it's exciting because I know we're talking about Bucs, and I'll get there in a second. But man, I got to start off by saying that I'll be honest with you, Peter. This is some of the best starting Rays baseball I have seen in years.
I agree.
I mean, they are doing just everything right, from small balls to dominant pitching to the bullpen taking a complete 360 to manufacturing runs by stealing and running and causing chaotic throws. Your boy Simpson again, 3 for 4 today by bunting, small balls, causing the catcher to throw errors, scoring on it's just everything's right, man.
Everything is going right.
Absolutely incredible baseball.
They're playing fundamentally sound baseball at this point. You know, at the beginning of the year.
and add, the Stankies on a 4-game losing streak, baby.
Well, there you go. You got to love that. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yes! Yes!
But listen,
Yes.
talking about the Bucs real quick, man.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to? I know hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I lost you. Training camp for the oh no, not training camp. Mini camp.
Rookie mini camp.
Oh
yes.
my God! Did you see the video of Ruben Bain?
Of
my
course.
God, he's a monster, bro.
Of course I did. I mean, I think a lot of people are excited, and they should be. And people go, well, he's going to get 10 sacks. We'll see. Again, you know, the eternal optimist here, but you see what he did at
Listen,
Miami.
I'm not looking for him to technically make a huge addition to maybe just having 10-plus sacks, but it's going to be the fact that just last year alone, just having someone with the type of attitude, the go get it the F done attitude that he has, is going to just be alone a huge boost on this defense. On top of everything else that he brings, you know, if he does produce 10-plus sacks, this is, I gotta say, Peter, I know people are going to say it kind of fell in his lap, but this is one of Jason Licht's best drafts I've seen in years.
It is. It really is, and has the potential to be even better, because you definitely may get some players that come in here right away and contribute, like a Ruben Bain Jr., like a Josiah Trotter, because you listen to Todd Bowles and his comments and take it for what it's worth, but you know, certainly he's athletic enough to not only play on the inside, which a lot of Bucs fans just think that's where they're going to use him. But I go back to the comparison of Devin White, to where Todd Bowles was able to blitz him, use him on the outside, and that certainly seems like what they're going to do with Trotter coming in. And I think they got a plan here. And again, you know, we'll see if he's going to start. I would assume he's going to start. I would assume that he's going to be a big part of this defense. But Ruben Bain Jr., Keontae Scott, he may be an outside corner, and most likely he'll be a nickel right now. I mean, you've got some versatility. That's the great thing about it. And we're not even talking about all the draft picks. Ted Hurst definitely may make an impact at this point. It may not be a first, and he doesn't have to be the savior of this team. Knock on wood, you don't have those injuries, because you have a plethora of wide receivers when it comes to that room right now. And we know that you're going to need that because of all the injuries you've had the last couple of years when it comes to that position.
I think when it comes to the offense too, you know, we're going to look at the wide receiver room a little bit more open, right? So It's going to be great to see what Emeka Egbuka is going to come back and do. Hez Johnson, you know, Caleb McMillan, can he stay healthy? Chris Godwin, can he stay healthy? Listen, the offense alone, I have no doubt, is going to score 30-plus points a game. It's going to come down to, I really think the defense is so loaded now that I'm so confident that, hey, listen, the Bucs, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bucs were one of the teams that led the NFL with leaving the passer in the pocket way too long. I think this year you're going to see complete 360 on this defense, and I'm excited to see what we're going to do, bro. You know, can a guy like Ruben Bain and all these draft picks get some more pass defense on the quarterback, disrupt the passing game, because the passing game is what always killed us. I think our rush defense was always pretty decent, but our pass defense in the last 3 seasons have always ranked on the bottom. So, I'm excited, bro. I saw some stuff in any camp, and it looked really good. I'm really happy with the things that I saw. So, listen, I know it's the beginning of the season. The schedule, I believe, drops Thursday.
Yep, we'll be here live.
I'm excited about that. Where do the Bucs start? Do we start on the road? Do we start home? I don't know how that works. But
I think you could be starting on the road because I believe Bruno Mars and some other concerts at that point are at Raymond James Stadium. So I don't think the Bucs will be at home this year. I think they'll be on the road, but we'll see. Officially, we'll get the word there on Thursday night. And again, we have you live here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television for all your reaction, all your phone calls, Bucs fans and Tampa Bay sports fans when it comes to it. What other show is doing it? I don't know, but this show is doing it. We'll be there.
Listen, you're doing everything, brother. You are killing it. We appreciate what you do to bring the content for the Tampa Bay sports community. And hey, man, I love and appreciate you. And make sure you reach out to me. Let's get you out to that Rays game next week. Hey, the Rays, like I said before I go, the Rays are playing some incredible baseball. They just scored another run in the top of the seventh, leading 8-3.
Yes.
The Stankies just lost. They lost by getting caught stealing down by a run. Some bad baseball right now for the Yankees. But, hey, listen, I know it ain't 100% Bucs season, but, dude, I'm excited about all our Tampa Bay sports. And keep up the great work.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always. I'll definitely get those tickets from you. I know.
Got it. Hey,
yes.
Reach out to me this week and then get you at that game.
Well, we will definitely do that. We'll be there on Tuesday night. Appreciate you, Alex. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I know where I'm taking my mother. I'm taking her to a baseball game. If she doesn't go, then who knows who I'm taking at that point. But I appreciate Alex as always in his contributions to this show. Get me out to a Rays game because it's been a little while. I like to go out to the Rays game sometime and see what the guys are doing. Again, 26-13 right now. Looks like they're going to go 27-13, seventh inning right now. Rays up 8-3. Jonathan Aranda having a big night with a home run there. Couple RBIs, so good for him. Chandler Simpson doing what Chandler Simpson does when he gets on the base pass. So we'll keep you up to date on that as I'm watching that. Once again, to go back to it, we will be live on Thursday night for your schedule release for all your reaction. Let's go out to Eric Moreno. Eric, welcome to the Evolution.
Bring the passion, bring the excitement. Don't bring any nonsense.
Yeah.
Rays are kicking butt 8-3. I think we're tied second on baseball. The Yankees lose again, 4 in a row. Chance to pick up another game.
Well, you're exactly right about that. And, on top of it, Toronto right now, it's early in the season. You talk about a team that was in the World Series last year. You're handling them pretty well. And they started out 8.5 games out. They look like they're going to be 9.5 games out after this game. So as much as people say, listen, as much as people say it's early in the season, it's not a big deal. If you lose games, you can definitely be out. You dig yourself a hole to where it's tough to climb out of it. Toronto's a talented team, but right now, Rays and Yankees, those are the two teams right now to beat in the AL East, especially the Tampa Bay Rays. So phenomenal stuff there. What else?
Would you give up 3 top prospects for Yordan Alvarez?
I don't know. I have to think about that right now. I have to think about that. I like where they're at. I don't necessarily like giving up prospects. I think, again, you're looking to the future, but if he's a piece that gets you over the top, then I definitely think you would have to consider it. But it's too early in this process. Let me go ahead and see what they do here from here on out, and I'll give you an answer to that question at this point. But you know me, I'm all about getting that piece, making that trade to put you over the top. And if it does that, then why not go for it? All right, what else?
It should be, I don't want a baseball season, but, I'm excited about the Bucs this year,
Okay.
Ruben Bain, Keontae Scott. I know he's got a little wrist injury right now.
Well, it's not Ruben Bain Jr., it's Keontae Scott. He does have a wrist injury. K-Park came in also injured. It's good that it's never good for an injury, but it's good it's happening now than happening during the season or before the season or after the season. Something along those lines is happening in the off season. So I'm not too worried about it. Home run right there. It looks like a 2-run shot. And we got a game here, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8-5 now. Tampa in the bottom of the 7th. That's why I say the game is never over. We'll see again. Jimenez with the home run there. Just a no-doubter to right field. Go ahead. What else?
Off a lefty, too. 8-5. I'm hoping Seymour can finish this game or maybe go, 7-8 and, save the bullpen.
Okay.
And Jonathan Ronda, I think Ronda, can hit, 20, 25 home runs, bat 280, probably drive in 80, 90 runs. A sleeper for an MVP candidate. Maybe Caminero if he, brings the average up a little bit.
We'll see. The Rays
40,
definitely have some all-stars on this team if they continue to play the way they are. And Major League Baseball is paying attention. Everybody's going to have to start paying attention, especially with this team being in first place right now. Moreno, appreciate the call. Use the second one, all right?
All right, yes, sir.
All right, good stuff there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll go out to the comments, as always, because you webheads make it the way it is. You're the lifeblood. And, of course, as always, the phone lines are open, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We will have JC Allen on in a couple minutes, so let's go out and read some comments real quick. Peter Blake, the one and only. Good evening, my friend. Good evening to you. Appreciate you, Tim, right there. Christopher O'Reilly, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremiah says, everyone, Shadow is here all the way there from South Dakota. Appreciate you as always.
Yes! Yes!
Let's go out to Eric. Let's go with you. Rays up. Yankees suck. I like it. Jeremy says, or Jeremiah, I call him Jeremiah, the Shadow. Raise the flags. Let's effing go.
Fire the cannon.
We will fire the cannons there, Gene. Let's go out to Chris Cole, 4538. Evening, everyone. It's about that time. Let's go, Bucks, Bolts, Bulls, Cubs, and Rays. And yes, I have 2 favorite MLB teams. That's okay. You can have that. As my dog just came in here, so I'm kind of concerned at this point what he's going to do. So stand by. I may have to take a commercial here and get him out of here as he goes out the door, so that's good. Go Bucks. Glad to be here. Thanks, Peter, for the Bucks for Life National News Worldwide. Love it, man. Appreciate you supporting this program and this broadcast and this streaming platform for Bucks fans, for Tampa Bay sports fans at night. I know sometimes it gets kind of boring and it's the dog days of summer, right? You got baseball and then what else? We got Bucks content. Stand by for a moment. I got to take care of something really quick. Let me play this commercial from Up the Block Barbershop. We'll be right back. Up the Block Barbershop. You don't have to go far. It's Up the Block Barbershop, 4946 Moog Road in Holiday, Florida. Whether it's a haircut, a beard trim, a fade, they got you covered. Go see my favorite barber, Ricky, and all the great barbers there at Up the Block Barbershop. Tell them the Rolex reporter, Peter Blake, sent you again. It's Up the Block Barbershop, 4946 Moog Road. Let's go out to the phone lines. Broadway, you're on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television live here at Raymond James Stadium after your Bucks fall to 6-3. Go. All right, so there you go. So, yes, it is 8-5 right now. Seymour is on the line, and Seymour is coming out. Kevin Cash is pulling him. So we'll see what happens. Who is coming in right now? Hunter Biggie is coming in to put out this fire as it's right now 8-5. Toronto in the bottom of the 7th, 1 on, 1 out. So we'll see if the Rays can escape this situation. That's why you say the games are never over, even when you're up 7-3, 8-3. I'm sorry about the commercial interruption there, but when an 83-pound dog comes in your room, I love him to death, but he can cause some havoc, just his body alone. So we got to get him out of here. Thanks a lot for being patient with me as we're live here, of course, on Instagram Live. We'll get out to those comments, TikTok Live, Facebook, LinkedIn Live, try to be professional, and once again, Twitter. So let's see here. And then you also said, go Bucks, go Bucks.
Wait up, Will. Wait up.
Go Bucks.
It's exciting!
It is exciting time.
Fire the cannon.
It is.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's see We'll continue to read comments here. Zion was on Pewter Report today. He has high praise for Bulls. Absolutely. He has something to prove. And we'll get those comments from Zion McCollum here in the next couple of days. But I'm curious to see what he had to say. Who knows? Maybe I'll cover that on Bucs Latest. Definitely tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Let's give it up to the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's see if they can get out of this situation tonight. We're kicking ass tonight. We're always kicking ass. Thank you very much, Christopher Cole, for the heads up. This draft class brings that 99 defensive vibes. Let's hope it is like that, my friend.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's hope it is like that. People are complaining about Trotter and wanted C.J. Allen, but Allen came out of shape and was slow. Yeah, he looked like he was not. He was not very fluid, if you will. He looked a little stiff, which is what I got out of his workout, watching him and seeing some of his tape and what I heard from people in the know. And again, they love Trotter and his athleticism. They love the fact that he can run, and they believe they can train him to cover and be a better coverage linebacker, and then also use that athleticism to their advantage with not only playing him in the inside, but also on the outside from a Todd Bowles perspective defense. Nair says Jerry Jones controls too much in order to let the Cowboys not get televised, even though they suck. They truly suck. I agree with that.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to Steven here. Hi, Peter. How are you? I was upset Chargers signed David Njoku. Maybe we can sign Zach Ertz. Bucs should sign a linebacker for camp. Bobby Orike. How about Chuck Clark for safety depth? And he worked with, I think you try to mention your comment there. I think they like what they have. There may be a possibility at this point of them signing a veteran corner. I'm not sure. I know a lot of people are screaming for them to sign a veteran tight end, but they like their tight end room at this point. And, of course, Bauer Sharp, who they got in the 6th round, they traded up 10 spots. They got some plans for this kid, so we'll see how it works. Loved hearing from him from the press conference. He couldn't get the smile off his face coming and working out with the rookie minicamp. And, again, you can't teach size and speed. He's definitely got both of those. He's transitioning from a position of being a quarterback to now a tight end. So you're kind of curious to see, what's the potential for him and how does he work in this Zach Robinson offense? We shall see. Let's go out to Chris Cole. Giants are going to whoop that Cowboy ass. I like that. He worked with Danny Smith in Pittsburgh. How about David? I think I know who you're talking about here. From Pewter Camp, we got Muhammad and Bain Jr., but we need depth to last through camp to December. They got Cape Hart, Elijah Roberts. They really like that. They also got Sean Robinson at the defensive tackle. I think you're talking about David, and I can't think of his name right now, but you kind of pronounce it, Omaretta. I think that's what his name is. I know what you're talking about. I think they're happy with their defensive tackle. Remember, they also brought back Nacho into the fold. Nair says Chandler Simpson MVP right now with that bat to ball contact, getting on base, RBIs left and right, digging Chandler Simpson's gameplay right now. I mean, that's why a lot of Rays fans were up in arms when he got sent down. But once he came back, he's improved defensively. The Rays knew what they were doing. When he gets on base, he can definitely make things happen, especially when you're making contact. Don't have to hit the ball at the ballpark. He can turn a single into a double with stealing bases. That's what he's been able to do, and that's why he's so exciting for this Tampa Bay Rays team. Let's go out to Chris Cole. Coaches told him to calm down. He said, no, that's what I do. Eric here, let's update the score. 2 outs, and Rays are out of it. So Hunter Biggie gets out of that jam in a high-leverage situation. Once again, going into the top of the 8th, the Tampa Bay Rays are now up 8-5 over the Toronto Blue Jays here on the Evolution. Eric says all Rays players monster chip on their shoulder. Steven says I'll take 8 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 10 tackles for loss as long as Yaya Diaby don't have to lead the edge for the 3rd time back in 2023, 2025. Enough. He can't be the only impact edge, and Muhammad at least 7 sacks. Yeah, you're exactly right. And Yaya's up for a big year. And we heard that Jason Light maybe this offseason wants to sign him to an extension. And we know that the market is $20, $25, $30 million. So Yaya has a lot to prove, and Yaya wants to prove it. He wants to ascend. He wants to be a leader of this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, and we'll see if he can do that in 2026 and beyond. Let's go out to Eric, all Rays players playing for a new owner. Brightside Broadway, hey, Peter, hey to you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Stephen Road. Let's go out to John Callis, 4487. Hello to you.
Yes.
Joni, is that Joni? Joni Callis. No. I knew who this is. I know who this is. This is Jonika. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you. I couldn't read the name, you know. I'm a talker, not a reader, but I'm going to read these comments. Boy Wonder 1913. Hey, Peter, go Bucs, buddy. Hope your mother had a blessed Mom's Day. The Rays are playing some good baseball right now. Have to take advantage during the early part of the season. Bucs schedule is going to be tough. It is always tough there, KR. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, he says, go Bucs, go Bucs.
Wait up, little boy.
Go Bucs.
Wait up.
Go Bucs.
We got the dub, baby.
You did get it.
Fire the cannon.
Hopefully you get a lot of those dubs this year with that defense. We'll see. Chris Cole, the edge room is so loaded that Nelly and Braswell could be on their way out. Chris Braswell, you're talking about, he could definitely be already on his way out if he doesn't show something. I know he's a second-round pick, but he's on thin ice. Anthony Nelson, a veteran, we'll see. There's going to be a lot of great competition. It's going to be one of the position battles that Bucs fans are going to definitely have to look forward to watching, especially when it comes to that edge room, that defensive line, that defense overall being improved with the young infusion of talent also mixed in with some of those veterans. What's up, Peter? What's up, Webheads? Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Wait up, little boy. Wait up.
Go Bucs.
We got the dub, baby.
Go Bucs.
Fire the cannon.
Go Bucs. Love it. So let's go out to King Cook. Just make sure all the Rays fans keep the same energy after the All-Star break. Go Yankees. And I'll say this to you.
That's good enough to suck right there.
We will definitely keep the same energy, my friend. We will revisit this conversation, if you will, after the All-Star break, because it is still early. Emerson Ryan, Bucs for life. Bucs for life. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Christopher Cole there. The American League is bad, but the National League is loaded with good teams. Steven says, Nelly is a solid player. He's on our big play guys. Braswell, who could have been on his way out without Nelly not winning in NOLA Week 8 and forget winning versus Carolina with the forced fumble in 2024. You're exactly correct about that, being to make some plays. Deep drive caught, again, 8-5 right now, 1 out. So there you go with the Rays beating Toronto. 28-3, 3rd and 28. Scott Bradford there, a Bucs Live. Appreciate your brother as always. Chandler Simpson tonight, simply amazing what he has done on base tonight. His speed kills. I got a question. I usually do the Rays recaps. Do you want me to bring that back, Facebook fans? You want me to bring that back to my page, to the Rays fans, to I Love St. Pete? You want me to bring back those Rays recaps? Put the comments there in the box. I may bring it back. I kind of missed it. I kind of miss watching Rays games and recapping them. I don't know if I can do every Rays game, but I'll do the best that I can. I'm very busy right now with everything. Scott, appreciate the comment. As always there, part of Bucs Live. Great platform to be a part of. Team chemistry is going to make a big difference this year, says Emerson Ryan. Agree. Team full of football players. They just want a ball. Solid 99 Bucs defensive vibes going on right now. That's the second time I heard that. Brent, what's up, bro? What's up with you?
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you. Let's go out to Steven. You can't make nachos without cheese and beef. I agree with that. Steven, what about the Panthers game? Baker threw a pick and lost the game on a game-winning drive. There's Brent with his comment. Supply and demand, 88-35. If Ben Morrison is good, we go to the Super Bowl. That is going to be one of the exciting position battles. Once again, I talk about not only the edge, but also I'm going to be curious to see what they do, especially in that back end, because you've got Zion McCollum coming off a bad year. He has something to prove. Jacob Parrish, in my opinion, on paper right now and from his play last year, could be the best corner on this team. Benjamin Morrison, lots of potential there, but you saw some flashes of brilliance against the Philadelphia Eagles, and then we saw some really bad moments, especially versus the Buffalo Bills, where he got toasted and roasted. Not good. So he's definitely got to step up, especially for that outside corner. And it certainly seems like there's going to be a competition between Parrish and Morrison. And then Keontae Scott coming in here. He may come in and play some of that outside corner. So we'll see. But this is one of the intriguing positions. I like this back end. I also like the fact that you have Antoine Winfield Jr., who's going to have a chip on his shoulder, knows he has to play better. Tyke Smith, he wants to be one of the leaders on this team. Levante David told you he's his cub. He's that could be a future leader with the way he plays on the field the last couple of years. He got the opportunity to play 100% at that safety position, and he performed. And then the unknowns, right? J.J. Roberts there and the back end, and then, of course, David Walker up front. So it'll be curious. We'll be curious to see, how that works out with these new players, and once again with their first time, their first opportunity to play, and what they can add to that defense. 99 Bucs defensive vibes and Super Bowl contenders. Bucs fans, let's just slow down, please. Laugh out loud. Let's go out to Emerson Ryan. Yaya is good, but he has to prove his consistency and ability to play a season. Agree. Brent Cook, we're on the way of being the Detroit Lions Super Bowl defense, offensive weapons, and no Super Bowl. Oh, Brent. Josh Grizzard had something to do with it. Baker now has Zach Robinson, a hopeful season. He won't have to throw to Mike Evans anymore because he gets hurt. Abuka, Ted Hurst, Jalen McMillan, Tez Johnson. And once again, you're forgetting the veteran presence, which, by the way, is going into his 10th season now. And Chris Godwin. How about Chris Godwin going into his 10th season? My, oh my, how time flies at this point. Right? Let's go out to Boy Wonder, 1913 with the schedule. I can see the Bucs going 11-6 or 10-7. This team needs to prove we are here. Agree. Jeremy says we need a raise the flag sound effect button, my brother, from another mother. We'll go ahead and do this one.
Fire the cannon!
I don't know about a raise the flag, but we'll try to figure this out. Scott Bradford says off subject, but Bucs related. Who do you think is in the lead to be the Bucs' new voice of the Bucs? I know who is in the lead for it, hoping a certain friend of ours gets the job. That's my pick. You don't have to say anything more than the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. And let me just tell you something. This goes all the way back to when I was 17 years old. I always tell this story affectionately because it was basically my first time on radio, calling his show, doing a March Madness recap. And then I win tickets to a Legends game. And my legend at the time is George Foster. And if George Foster wins the home run derby contest, I get a chance to go to my first baseball game, which consequently is in Texas, which is the All-Star game. So guess what happens at the All-Star game there, the Legends All-Star game? George Foster wins the home run derby contest, and I get all expense paid and get an opportunity to take my father to Texas. My first baseball game was an All-Star game. And then on top of it, I met him 30 years later in the press box, remembered him. We became fast friends again. He's helped me with the evolution of sports talk television. He's given me every opportunity. Do I have to remind you that not only did he get me credentialed to the Jake Paul, Tommy Fury press conference, which, by the way, basically got me monetized because I had 250,000 views on YouTube. That's a true story. Which in turn got me credentialed to what? The Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley fight, which led to what? The Rolex. And here's what people don't know, which I always tell this story about. As intelligent as I am, and I'm on the run and I'm trying to set up this show, because sometimes, there's so many components to it. At the time, I didn't have Emily Arena's Wi-Fi. So if TJ Reeves, the media icon, the human lottery ticket, doesn't give me his hotspot, there is no sports web. We're not going live. I'm not able to ask that question. And guess what? I'm not able to get a $20,000 Rolex. That is a true story. So if you're asking me right now who should be the voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, unequivocally, it should be the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network, because he is the voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He has paid his dues, and he deserves it. And when he announces, he's painting a picture like Picasso. There is some urgency to his broadcast, and I freaking love that. So yeah, That's who I got. That's my vote. I don't know about you, but that's my vote, Bucs fans. And of course, the coolest thing is, no matter what he's doing, he'll come down with the great JP Peterson, which we're and collaborating with during the season when we do our post-game shows on the field, 30 to 35 minutes after I set up. He'll come down and give his analysis like this to Bucs fans who want Todd Bowles fired.
Go away.
Yes.
Go away.
Yes.
I will hold the door.
Yes, hold the door. Absolutely. There you go. So, yeah, that's my vote. We'll see. But I love it. I hope he gets it. I really do. Chris Godwin, all tight ends. Gainwell, Bucky, Tuck, healthy O-line with Billy, the guard. Is it? I can't pronounce his name yet. I got to figure it out. I'm still in preseason minicamp form here. I'll figure this out. I pronounce his name 1,000 times, and then when I try to pronounce it, I can't do it. All right. But yes, sir. Bring back the Rays. Recap, my brother. We shall do that. I still want a vet corner. There are some corners out there the Bucs could sign. I also still don't like Bretterson. We'll see. I definitely think Jason Light likes this offensive line, but there's going to be some competition there. And they may have gotten a diamond in the rough because the guard from Notre Dame, Schraith, Billy Schraith, I think that's his name. If I'm wrong, just correct me. But he had a knee injury. And if you look at his tape, he was a big part of why, Julian Love is going in the top 3 at that point. So they may have found something. So again, knock on wood, if you do have an injury to your guards, he can maybe step in. He's versatile enough to play those guard positions. So I definitely like it. Let's see. Peter H. Blake for play-by-play announcer of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football. Let's go. I appreciate that, but I told you who my pick is. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
There's one guy that should be it, and that's TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network, the media icon. That's my vote. That's going to be my vote. I appreciate everybody reaching out to me, but I just love doing what I'm doing here. And I love, being a part of this with Bucs Nation and talking to you. And again, we're not even talking about June 6th, the Tampa Bay Expo. If you know what you know about watching this show in the past, we interview football players. We've interviewed the great Levante David and Tristan Wirfs and Christian Izzian and Kalisha Cansey and Booger McFarland and Ken Dilger and Shelton Quarles. And guess what? Leonard Fournette and Bucky Irving and Mike Pittman should be in the building, along with Hardy Nickerson and Simeon Rice. And we'll be there at the Florida State Fairgrounds for the Card Expo there, the Tampa Card Expo. Without further ado, let's go out to this guy. I gave him a big-time intro. Hopefully he can get his face on there and not go Avatar on me. But I'm so proud. 6 years. Not only joined Bucs Report, he started off, he cut his teeth with the Sports Web. He's doing big things there on Twitter. Let's go out to Mr. JC Allen. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television, my friend. Has it been 6 years? I cannot believe it, but it has been 6 years. I'm, again, so proud of you, man. And you've just done so many great things. And I love it, bro.
I can't believe it's been 6 years already, man. Like, it's crazy. I mean, obviously, it started back in March when Brady signed, when I was calling in like a lunatic because we were under COVID and I just wanted to talk sports because sports weren't on. And I stumbled upon the great Sports Web with one Mr. Peter Blake. And then, just doing that for a couple months led to the opportunity at Bucs Report, turned that into Peter Report, Bucs Game Day, and here I am still going on strong. So it's crazy to think about, surreal, just looking back at everything. It doesn't feel real still. Kind of like looking through a 3D lens or something. I don't know, but super happy to be here and fresh off rookie minicamp weekend. And there's a lot to be excited about after an off season that wasn't much excitement for a lot of Bucs fans. I think turning the corner here, coming into OTAs and mandatory minicamp. I think the engines are revving a little bit for Bucs Nation right now, which is a good thing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you on that. And yeah, I like these comments from Todd Bowles. Let's go out to these comments from Todd Bowles about Ruben Bain Jr. He says he looked like he was in mid-season form. Obviously, he's from Miami, so he's going to be practicing in the heat, where a lot of the other guys are going to struggle adjusting to this weather. It didn't bother him at all. He came in great shape. He ran around well, kind of picked up some things very well. He's got an old soul, so to speak. He understands his lineage. He understands the guys that came before him. They got a lot of great players down there at the University of Miami as well as the high schools down there as well. He grew up around all these guys, grew up around Teddy Bridgewater, Levante David, Kalijah Kancey, and all those guys himself. He understands tempo. He understands pace. He understands how to play hard. He understands to pay homage to the guys that came before him that were down there, and he tries to pattern his game like that. He's a very smart player, not just a tough player. He understands what he's walking into and what he wants to be. Just some eye-opening comments there by Todd Bowles, and you got to love the fact he gets off the bus, and what jersey is he wearing, J.C. Allen?
Warren Sapp.
Warren
just
Sapp. That's how. Listen, that's how you basically you charge up that fan base. That's how you endear yourself to this fan base because, from his words, Warren Sapp owns this town. I think Derek Brooks has something to say about that, but Sapp, most likely the greatest three technique that was the big-time engine that ran it for that Tampa 2 defense. So talk about Bain Jr., what you saw from him. Again, welcome to the Evolution.
Yeah, I just thought, I thought Bain was just incredible with the things that he was doing just at rookie minicamp. I mean, you want to talk about, no all gas, no brakes, yada. I mean, he was sprinting in between like drills and individual position drills, and he was going full bore, full tilt, full time. And when they got into teams, obviously it's really hard. Offensive linemen are at an extreme disadvantage. There's nothing to grab onto for them when it comes to blocking. But just he's not known for the quickest get off, but how quick he gets into the tackles. And I think that's something that was talked about. The arm length is a thing, but how quickly he can get into a tackle's chest and eliminate the arm length conversation is so impressive. And if they were keeping tallies of sacks, he would have had a handful. I think he is going to. And I remember we talked about this prior to the draft, Peter, and I said, look, don't be surprised if the Bucs go, offense early. They might just decide that, hey, and this is when we were talking about Venga Ioane, hey, let's just make this offense as good as we can and just try to outscore everybody because this defense is probably a year or two away. Landing Ruben Bain at 15, following up that Josiah Trotter, and then somehow landing Keontae Scott in the 4th round, I think that might speed up the timeline. And now I'm not saying this defense is going to be like lights out, top 5, top 10 defense in the league. But I think if, again, knock on wood, everybody listening, if they can avoid the injury bug, I think they have a really, really complimentary football team with an offense that can go high octane and score at any time, that can run the ball efficiently and effectively, and then a defense that's just going to wear down offenses and make them one-dimensional where they cannot run the ball with any success and they have to pass. Now, again, knock on wood because of injuries, because that secondary needs to stay healthy and they need to ball out. But if they can make that the case and these corners can cover and lead to some coverage sacks, then this defense and this offense is going to play really complimentary. And it starts with the guy that they drafted at 15, somehow 15 overall, with Ruben Bain. And everything I saw at rookie minicamp, and I mean even Rick Stroud, I listened to his podcast too. And Stroud is not the hype cheerleader type rah guy. No. He came away from rookie minicamp really just thoroughly impressed in the underwear football that was Ruben Bain and how he looked out there. And I think that just, it speaks volumes. Everybody, anyone you listen to that was at rookie minicamp is going to tell you how impressive Ruben Bain looked. And I really think that he can not only be in the running for defensive rookie of the year, but also help transform this defense to where they're getting after the quarterback. And it might not be him with double-digit sacks. I don't know, but he's going to open up a lot of things for other people as well. And I think that's going to be a huge part of this defense's turnaround going into this season.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge turnaround. And one of the things that they kind of talked about, and Bowles mentioned it again, he brings in a certain attitude to your defense. Obviously, we try to get a couple of those guys here this year. Obviously, with Bain, Ashawn Robinson's attitude, you're talking about the newcomers and Josiah Trotter and Keontae Scott as well, along with Kalijah Cansey and all those guys we really have on defense. It just brings them closer together and makes them push each other to work harder. You know, they made a point of emphasis to get guys that, excuse my language, are kind of a-holes at this point, and they wanted an edge to it. They still want players to love football, and all the players that you talk to and you've talked to them, they seem like they love football. So this was a point of emphasis.
Nasty pricks is what Jason Light called them.
Well, there you go. I mean, there you go. His words, nasty pricks, and I think that's going to transition over. And people will go, well, it doesn't matter if they're mean. Well, it kind of does, because maybe you got some guys last year that were loafing. Maybe you got some guys last year who didn't care about playing football, who cared about making that personal business decision to collect a check. You don't need those type of players because that's the kind of effort you saw from this defense last year. And at some points, the offense and especially the defense, though.
Yeah, and even Levante David came out on a podcast recently and said, I watched back the tape, and there were times I was out there loafing, and like that led to part of the decision to hang it up and retire. I think with getting these guys who are younger, a little bit more athleticism, and that they got in the draft, and then adding the veterans with the nastiness and the aggressiveness and the in-your-face smash mouth, we're gonna F you up, on the line type of defensive lineman. I think, I was having a conversation on one of these TikTok things earlier today. They were talking about the overrated, underrated, best defensive lines. And when you look at the Bucs, I think this is a highly competitive group. You have 2 people on this line, 3 people in this front 7, probably competing and literally competing with each other just for a captain role, and Alex Anzalone, Yaya Diaby, and Kalijah Cansey. Not to mention Tyke Smith in the secondary, who's also another physical badass guy who'll come down and lay the wood on you. So like there's so many guys who are ready to step up and assume a leadership role. Then you got the guys coming in, the rookies who, with Keontae Scott and Ruben Bain, those guys were leaders. Those guys are leaders. And obviously as a rookie, they got to earn their stripes, but you're getting guys, like you said, they love football. They play with an edge. They play with an attitude. They play physical brand. Josiah Trotter, physical player, just like his father. And, that's what the Bucs wanted to get back to on defense. That's what signing Ashawn Robinson. That's what getting Alex Anzalone in here, his coverage ability, but his physicality as a linebacker when he comes downhill. That's what the whole point of getting Nacho back is, the energy and the physicality and the jawing and the competition that he's going to create. I think a big part of the struggles last year, the injuries and the walkthrough practices, but just the energy at practices too. I think having these guys who are going to challenge the offense and challenge Baker Mayfield and challenge this. We're going back to when JPP and Sue and Vita Vea were here, and Tristan Wirfs was like, I gotta go get Shaq and JPP. Holy shit, like we're getting back to a thing where this defense and this offensive line are going to make each other better by the battles they have in training camp, and it's going to be awesome to watch. And I think really it's going to again elevate this team as a whole, and the energy that's going to bring and the competition it's going to bring out. I think you're going to see a renewed energy and vigor from this Bucs defense that it was lacking last year at times.
Going back to try to roll with JC Allen there of Twitter, definitely go and follow him, like him, JC Allen NFL. Bowles had this to say. I thought this was interesting. He says, we know he can go downhill. We know he's a very good blitzer. We know he's a very good shock and shed guy, and that he's a very good tackler. We know that he understands zone concepts and that he can play on the edge as an outside backer. Whoa. Because all we heard, and a lot of Bucs fans say, well, he's an inside guy. Well, he's an outside backer, and I've heard the comparison from Tampa Trevor there, Trevor Sikkema, say he's Devin White, and people go, well, that's a tough comparison. And White was a bust. Not when he first came into the league, and if you know how Todd Bowles used him, blitzing from the middle, blitzing from the edge, I think there's some excitement, but that's what I took out of those comments. He also says, he can play inside, so the same things that he did in college, but it's almost grasping the system understanding what he can take advantage of. He has a great pedigree. He's a very smart player. So we look for him to get better and better. But again, edge and rushing from the outside. How do we know that, once again, this was the plan all along, that maybe he's an outside edge rusher, that he's a chess piece that Todd Bowles is going to use in 2026? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be a true edge, but we've seen it before with Vita Vea lined up at inside linebacker and Levante on the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that you can use, versatility on the defense, especially when they get into like dime looks and nickel looks and stuff like that. But the thing about Trotter and Devin White, and I don't really see a huge Devin White comparison, not the speed or anything like that. But what I do see that's staunchly different is Josiah Trotter loves football. Like, he wants to get paid. He's not signed his contract. That's more of like a league thing than a him thing. His agents are holding out for the most guaranteed money they can get. And as we see, like Denzel Boston just got his whole contract guaranteed at 36. So, and then CJ Allen got partially of his contract guaranteed a couple picks after Trotter. So, that's just how it's going to play out. But Devin White, before he even came in the league, said he wanted to be $100 million linebacker in 5 years. Like, he was about money. Trotter is about football. And he brings his own kind of swag. Like, Devin White was loud in your face. He brings this swag. I posted, and people are so dumb. Seeing him at the press conference, he just looks rocked up. He looks yoked up, jacked up. He's just he's a physical guy who can come and bring the heat. And as far as coverage, when you looked at him, he's only played 2 years in college, 1 year at Virginia Tech or Virginia State, I forget where it was, or maybe it was just West Virginia, maybe. And then 1 year at Missouri. So there's still, and again, we talked about this with the whole CJ Allen, Josiah Trotter thing. And my point when we were talking about this before the draft is there's a ceiling there for CJ Allen, and it's much lower than it is for Trotter. And part of that is his coverage ability. And now another big thing about the difference between about him and White is I think his instincts, while they're still developing, are already better than Devin White's. So there's going to be times where he's going to be, Bijan Robinson or CMC, he's going to struggle covering those guys out of the backfield, and the George Kittles and the Sam Laportas he might struggle with, but you don't get those every week. So he'll be fine, and when they do have those, there will be a game plan in place to kind of cover him up. But I think he's going to be the perfect fit. Again, this is why I wasn't as high on Jacob Rodriguez as everybody else. I love the player, but for the Bucs specifically, he wasn't the guy who I was super high on for them. I thought Trotter fit so much more what they kind of needed. Same thing with Allen, but the upside with Trotter was just more. So I think he's going to develop into a tremendous player. And with their first 2 picks, you might be looking at, anchors on this defense for the next 10 years.
All right, we got an update here, Rays fans. Rays win. Brian Baker with his 11th save.
Right
he
now
may be up for an all-star game for himself here. Rays win 8-5 right now, 27-13. One of the the stories of Major League Baseball. Who would have thought this after what they did last year? So Rays win, guys. We can definitely talk about that a little bit later. But this is what Trotter had to say when talking about his play in 2026. I have to prove it at the NFL level now. I have to make a name for myself in the NFL. So everything that I did before, that doesn't matter. So I have to come here, do it now, just start with today at minicamp, learn the plays in the playbook. A lot of people have things to say about me, and everybody has their own things to work on, but I know that I can do it. Talking about coverage drops and the coaching staff, they believe I can do it. I'm not really worried about people and what they say I can and cannot do because I know what I can do. So going out there and showing up on Sundays. I love this attitude. I love what this kid, and people keep on saying, well, so what? He's the son of Jeremiah Trotter, but that's an advantage. We know it's an advantage. We saw it with Antoine Winfield Jr. We saw it with other players around the league. We're going to be talking to Michael Pittman. I'm going to ask him, did you give your son, Michael Pittman Jr., some advice at this point? I mean, because it's a big deal, but I love this. I love these comments. I love the fact that he's got a chip on his shoulder. And even Todd Bowles mentioned that he's kind of in the same vein of Bain Jr., where he has that attitude. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry, muted. Yeah, I mean that's the type of player that they're looking for again, and it trickles down to I think, and Jason Light says it. You know, he likes that first round draft pick tends to set the tone for the rest of the draft. And when you look at the selection of Josiah Trotter, you look at Keontae Scott, you look at DeMonte Capehart, those four defensive players that they picked up in this draft. These guys are all tone setters. They're all physical. They're all aggressive. And you know, with Josiah Trotter having his dad and his brother in the league and having that ability to kind of, you know, give him the insight and the heads up and like this is how things are just they've been there done this whole show and dance before, you know, especially, you know, Jeremiah, who was a tremendous player in the league for a long time. You know, his son, you know, junior is still trying to figure things out. With the Eagles landed there last, I think it was a 7th round pick or something like that. Stuck around last year trying to carve out a bigger role, probably has that chance with Kobe Dean gone now. But you know, it'll be interesting to hear Michael Pittman's thoughts on that as well, and kind of see what he has to say about having a son go into the league and prepare him. But I really think, you know, that physicality that his dad he's going to bring, and this whole draft class. You know, even when you come down to the offensive side of the ball, like go watch some of Josh Capo's clips of Bauer Sharp and how physical he is when he's blocking, and some of the contested catches that, you know, the physical ability that Ted Hurst, you know, has, and Strauss, that's his whole game, is just out physicaling and being, you know, aggressive. And so I just think it's the draft class as a whole is going to bring that energy, that attitude, that tone setting edge, aggressiveness, and it's something the Bucks really wanted to get back to this season.
Yeah, and it's Billy Shrout. I got his name right. I think I said Schraut before Shrout, so I'll get it. I'm in preseason.
Shrout like South.
Yeah, there you go, Shrout. All right, so Billy Shrout, and he may be a diamond in the rough because you look at his film, a little bit undersized. I heard some analysts say, you know, he's a little bit small down, you know, leg wise and ass wise. But he can grow into his body a little bit. And then on top of it, the tape is impressive. He's coming off a knee injury. This is a Jason Light typical pick to where you get him in the 5th round, so you get some value. You get a strong starter there, and then he's also versatile. Is that what you see with Stroud?
Yeah, I talked about this, you know, when I was kind of profiling him, and like he's not the best athlete. He's you know, he's limited athletically a little bit there. But he is a Notre Dame offensive lineman, so you know he's very, very smart. Right. And you mentioned the lower half, and that was a knock on Hainsey, right? And that's why he fell into the 3rd round. Was undersized, right. You know, kind of smaller, didn't have enough sand in his ass, and you know, kind of the same thing with Strauss here, but he does offer that versatility at left guard, right guard. But he's a competitor. I forget who I was watching, and they were comparing him.
I think I was watching the same podcast you were watching.
But they were comparing him to Luke Gedeke a little bit.
Right.
And just like, he just fights. Like he's not going to beat you, but he's just a scrapper, you know, and that's his ability and his, you know, his smarts and his IQ and all that stuff should lead to playing time. I don't know about this year. There's an injury. I think he's probably the first guard off the bench, depending on how he develops, right? It's easy to say that about a 5th round pick. I had him as a 3rd round grade. Those guys usually are in competition to start or at least be a top backup. And I think he can do that in this offseason. But I think, you know, he gives you an insurance plan for potentially Ben Bredesen, you know, next, if not next year when he's got no guaranteed money, but maybe this year. You know, Bredesen's coming off an injury and he's not going to, you know, he's not old, but you never know. I think he could potentially challenge and at least push him a little bit. So, and he's been practicing at left guard throughout rookie minicamp. So that's where they're practicing him to start. He can play right guard as well. I'm sure they'll try to get him some reps at center to increase that versatility. But I think he was a hell of a pick. Again, I had a 3rd round grade on him. They got him in the 5th round with their second 5th round pick.
Yes.
And, you know, again, he's not superior athletic. Like when they do the zone stuff that they're going to get into, you might not be the best, but he'll make it work. I think he's a very comparable athlete to like Ben Bredesen, and I think that's the hope there is that maybe he can develop and, kind of fill in that spot. Or if there's someone we have injuries, we're not going to have such a steep drop off talent wise with a Michael Jordan or a Dan Feeney. We'll have a more talented player in there if he can pick up everything.
Yeah,
quicker.
of course. Do you see Brederson moving positions? Is there a possibility you could see him going to center and possibly Barton going to left guard? Because Barton played all his snaps. He's the only offensive player. And Jason and I mentioned this, but some people say he took a step back. I say it was more of the combination of playing with backups.
Definitely.
And that kind of hurt him. So you don't see any change from left guard to center at this point, right?
No. I think you got to remember he started the first three games at left tackle too. Like playing outside like that and all that space and then having to go back into a phone booth is going to take an adjustment. And then, as soon as that happened, he starts to look good. Took a couple games. He bounced back in one of his best games. I even said that. I'm like, hey, you really, I know it was probably a struggle, but like you really told him during the season. And, then all of a sudden everybody else goes down. You already lost Cody, then you lose Ben. Now you got Michael Jordan and Dan Feeney in there, and Luke Haggard and Elijah Klein, and it's a nightmare situation for him. So I think he really takes in, and I know a couple other people are on the Josh Capo, Michael Plus of Real Bucs Talk. They both feel they're in lockstep with me. He's going to be a top 10 to top 12 center in the league. I think there's not many good ones. He was a first round pick. He's got all the talent. I think again, everything's going to hinge on injuries for this Bucs team. But I think the thing with Bredesen, if anything, if Billy Strauss can beat him out for that starting left guard, he kind of solves your interior offensive line depth problem. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was like, Vega Ioane, if he's the best player available, makes a lot of sense, because you can then slide Bredesen into that reserve spot where he can play both guard spots and center for you. And now, like, if injuries hit at any of those positions, you feel really comfortable with the depth you have there with probably a Bredesen and a Dan Feeney or one of these undrafted guys if they show up or whatnot. But that's if Billy Strauss can beat him. If not, maybe Strauss can beat him out next year, and now you just have a $7 million backup into your offensive lineman, which is a lot of money, but for the security, it might make some sense. Or they could let him go because they don't owe him any guaranteed money. So we'll see how it plays out this year. Strauss got to get his feet under him first and kind of learn the playbook, and we'll see how he looks in pads before we can start saying anything like that. But they really like him. They thought they got a steal. I thought they got a steal, and there's potentially an opportunity for him to at least be the top reserve interior offensive lineman, especially guard on the roster come the end of training camp.
Yeah, let's talk about Ted Hurst, because all you hear is how everybody's impressed. What did you see from him? This is what he had to say, and then we'll get your thoughts. He says that working on my craft and staying in that playbook, that exposition for sure. Some things I want to work on. It's just being more detailed. It's very detailed-oriented game. I learned that yesterday just running through routes. You have to be in a specific spot, in a specific place. The small things can make you more open. What do you see from this kid? Again, third-round pick out of Georgia State, but I just look at the tape, man. To me, he just looks like Larry Fitzgerald, and I know that's an insane comparison, but Steve Smith said it. It's what he looks like. Now he's impressive. I wonder what his impact is going to be on this offense. Again, he's not going to have to be the savior because you have, lots of talent there. But what did you see from him this weekend?
Yeah, I definitely think that he makes an impact sooner rather than later. When you look at the size, speed profile, his ability, to readjust his body control, to readjust his body mid-route. I think that's what Steve Smith was really saying, like his ability to kind of just slow down, his ability to run. His speed is so deceptive because his stride is so long where, defensive backs feel like they're in the right position, and then he's zooming by him. He's going to need to work on his route running. He's going to need to work on his technique, his nuance, and all that stuff. His route tree, his release package is pretty good, but it can definitely improve. But there's definitely a path for him to see meaningful snaps as a rookie on the boundary of that exposition, and be a valuable target for them, especially in the red zone and as a field stretcher vertically, because of his size and speed. If he gets behind a cornerback, you got to kind of resort a safety if he can. He's got to be consistent, right? They're gonna let him run. They're gonna let him run the first couple times before they like. All right, now we need to put someone over the top, not to, and that's gonna open things up underneath. His ability, on third down, he's got to develop that rapport with Baker Mayfield and that chemistry and trust. But I think he can be huge there as well. I just think, when you look at this, and I saw supply and demand said Hurts and Emek on the outside, CG in the slot will feed families. Not only that, again, Chris Godwin's got 1 year left on his deal. You've got one guaranteed year left on his deal. You've got your wide receiver core of the future and Hurst, McMillan, and Abuka right there with Tez Johnson as that flex guy who can line up all over the spot. McMillan at the Z, Abuka in the slot, and Tez Johnson rather, as kind of that versatile piece who can play little Z, can play little slot. You don't really want him at the X, but and whatever. But I think they've got themselves set up in a pretty good spot with their wide receiving core once again to kind of be the anchor of this offense going forward for the next X amount of years. So this is a tremendous job by Jason and his team, looking at these. And again, tremendous value too. I had him as a best fit in the third round. In my final mock, I didn't have him because I didn't think he'd be available at 77. I thought he would have went earlier. But he's a guy who I was really high on. One of the guys who I kind of identified. Malachi Fields was someone who I looked at first, and Jacoby Lane, but kind of determined they weren't necessarily Bucs fits, especially Malachi Fields. But I mean, Ted Hurst is I think he's going to be a real player. He's going to surprise a lot of people this year.
All right, one more last question, and we'll get you out of here. We appreciate the time here on your 6-year anniversary on the evolution of sports talk television. I was kind of surprised by these comments by Todd Bowles, but then again, you're not, because, again, you're drafting the versatility, the value there in the 4th round from Keontae Scott. He says, yeah, we're going to look at him an outside cornerback. We got to move our guys around because when you make cuts, you don't have that many. We got to be able to have some versatile pieces. He also says Scott's very instinctive, and Parrish was an all rookie. He's still going to play there as well, but we're going to get him in some more outside reps. We're going to start Keontae out as a nickel. We'll see if he evolves to where that becomes a safety, or he's a corner from that standpoint and go from there. He's really a guy that can play all over the place. So the versatility is there. Are we surprised that Scott not only could play safety, but also outside corner? And is this the answer to the question that many Bucs fans want them to sign a veteran? They're just going to go with their young guys at this point with the competition, with the Zion McCollum, with the Benjamin Morrison, with the Jacob Parrish, who, again, I believe is the best corner on this team, and the Keontae Scott. Could they still sign a veteran? What do you make of the Scott situation? What do you make of the back end, especially the outside corner situation?
Yeah, so, Scott's tape at Auburn wasn't great when he was outside. So I don't know if that's going to work. At least Jacob Parrish, you saw a sample size of him playing outside at K-State, and he did it really well. I think he's better suited as nickel safety type role. But I mean, yeah, absolutely. Give him reps outside. Absolutely, why not? He's got 4.37 speed. He can carry guys deep vertically, give him those reps. And I mean, look at Zion McCollum is not a nickel corner. And Christian Izzian certainly was an outside corner, but the more these guys can do, the better situation you're in. So versatility is always going to be key. And I think Scott's role will kind of settle in that nickel corner spot, the dime packages and stuff like that, where they're having, 3 safeties or 4 corners on the field. In this day and age, you can easily run a 4-2-5, especially with what the Bucs have. You got Anzalone, and they run it a lot anyways. So, I think what you'll see, and I mean, they can even, Bulls will do variations and have just one linebacker out there and do a 5-1-5 with Anzalone and have some of these guys, dropping back into coverage and not knowing where the pressure is coming from. And I think Keontae Scott's going to be a huge part of that because of his blitzing ability and his ability to handle himself in the box and in run support. And that's why, safety nickel star position that people have been calling him a linebacker, a DB playing linebacker because of, his size and his physicality. And I think it's, that Nick Imanawari type and these guys, these bigger safeties, these bigger corners, these bigger nickels because of the 12 personnel that teams are going to. And you have to have a kind of a bigger body to match up against some of these tight ends. So I think the versatility that he can show, if he can play outside, it just adds another dimension. But definitely special teams, definitely safety, definitely nickel. I see him getting some work there throughout the season. As far as the back end, it doesn't do anything to quell my concerns. And a report came out that they're still in on Rasul Douglas, and he's kind of waiting to see what his opportunities are. He doesn't really want to come in and sit behind a couple guys. He really would prefer, I think, to compete for a starting job. So unless an injury pops up, I know he's been the favorite for a lot of Bucs fans to sign. I don't think that's going to happen, but there's plenty of opportunity for them to go out and find another veteran out there. And again, you're not looking at a guy. I mean, don't look at someone who was a starter, last year, at least a very good starter last year, or something like that, and think that's what's coming in. You're going to get probably a little bit better player maybe than Kindle Vildor or something like that. And I
Thank
know
God.
Bucs fans don't. Bryce Hall, kind of that level guy is what you're going to get. Someone who started some games in the league for a couple seasons, maybe hasn't been a starter for a couple of years, and unless it's been due to injury, but just a veteran guy, who they can who's played significant snaps and know that if injuries happen, they can throw him in there. I think that would be the route that I would look for. And, roster cuts are going to happen. We've already seen some of these guys get released. The Bucs just made a couple of releases of some veterans, that were on with the team last year, and the running back and Wiley and Whitney, the outside linebacker. They're both on the practice squad, some veterans. So, those cuts will happen once June 1st comes. More cuts will happen. Once we get through OTAs and mini camps, more cuts will happen. Once we get into training camp that first week, there will be plenty of opportunity for them to add a cornerback who can contribute and be, a veteran presence who can still kind of play on special teams. But I think that, and maybe even the safety room needs one of those too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know they love JJ Roberts, but he's still an undrafted free agent that's never played an NFL game before. That counts. And Rashad Wisdom and Marcus Banks, they've really never played defense snaps that count. They played special teams, and Miles Kilbrew is a special teamer. He's not even a safety. He's listed as a safety, but he's a special teamer. So they don't have veteran depth there, So we'll see. But the whole versatile thing to save roster spots is a huge thing. And we didn't get to touch on, Bauer Sharp, the tight end, who I thought looked really good too on during rookie mini camp, kind of getting everything down. And he could be, Ko Kieft and Devin Cope. If I'm them, I'm kind of like, oh, I got to bring it, because again, you can only keep so many guys. And last couple of years, they've kept 4 tight ends. If Bauer Sharp can give you the special teams and blocking that Ko Kieft can, and can give you the vertical seam threat and kind of move option that Devin Cope was supposed to be, then maybe you don't need to keep 4 tight ends. Maybe he takes both of their spots, and you got Payne and Otten. So. That's kind of the thing. Same thing with DeMonte Capehart, right? He played nose. He can play 5. He can play 4. He can play 3. I think Mike Beal compared him to Will Golston after he was drafted. Kind of look at that type. He said that DeMonte Capehart said that his favorite position to line up is at nose tackle, getting right over the center. So versatility, that's the biggest thing for these guys. And with Scott being able to play safety, being able to play nickel and maybe outside corner, and those other guys that they drafted on day 3, having that versatility as well. We talked about Shrouth and both guard spots, maybe even center. They'll probably cross train him at too. That's the best way to make the team if you're a late round guy. That and showing out on special teams. And I think the Bucs have another draft where all these guys end up making the roster, and a couple undrafted free agents too. Another class draft by Jason Light and his staff.
And speaking of special teams, Todd Bowles was giving high praise to one of our guys here. Missed because I'm biased. I saw him all last year. Mac Harris, the linebacker from USF. He says toughness, leadership, and toughness. He understands how to play the Mike linebacker position. He's going to be very interesting if he can get to training camp, see him go there with pads on. He's a leader. He understands the game very well, and he'll be a good piece to see if he can move around and play special teams. People go, well, so what if he's a special teamer? So what? The special teams was bad. You need players like that. And I can tell you right now, while watching Harris from the press box extensively, that guy can get after the passer. So he's a player that you could definitely use to rush the passer. He's a tackler. He's got leadership qualities. What do you say about Mac Harris from USF?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a product of timing, just bad timing for him. They weren't going to sign Javin Wright and Caden Fordham because there was things that popped up in the physical, I guess. And then both of those guys after second kind of evaluation were good to go. and John Bullock was released by the Colts. So that perfect storm just kind of, I think, took any opportunity that he might have had and kind of, you know, put it on the back burner for right now. Now, I think the Bucs will still kind of stay in contact with him, and if injuries pop up, maybe there's an opportunity. But he didn't get signed with the 4 undrafted free agents that did get signed. So I think he's more of this. All right, we'll keep tabs on him, and if something pops up during training camp, we know we liked what we saw from him. We know he's going to bring energy during training camp or whatnot. But I don't know if he's anywhere like lined up to get another shot with the Bucs. And sometimes just the way the cookie crumbles, He did look pretty good, and especially on that first day. But now you've got a situation where they've got someone who played in 15 games for them last year on special teams, made the roster as an undrafted free agent, back on the roster. They still like Nick Jackson. They have Christian Roseboom. They have Servassier Dennis. And they have these 2 undrafted guys that they brought in this year that they like as well. So tough sledding for him, bad timing for him. And if neither one of those guys, were deemed healthy enough to sign after they originally weren't, then maybe he would have had one of those spots. But unfortunately, it just came down to a numbers game and timing. And it's going to be a heck of a competition in that linebacker room for that 3-4 spot, I think. Because I don't think Servassier or Christian Roseboom are guaranteed anything. So it'll be fun to see. But back pocket, we'll call you if we need you type of deal, I think, with him.
Yeah, what do you know about Javen Wright? Because I heard a lot about him. There's some people telling me, watch this kid. He's good in coverage. He's a Nebraska linebacker. We know that Jason Light loves Nebraska linebackers. What do you know about this kid Wright?
Let me pull up my notes on him. Yeah, I mean, Jason Light, he had to fill one Nebraska linebacker with another, right?
Right.
So Javen Wright, versatile linebacker, instincts to find the ball in the run game, good pursuit angles, production to back it up. Final season Nebraska led him tackles for a loss, and sacks, earning all honorable, all mention, all Big Ten honors. 86 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss. 86 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 4 pass breakups. Injuries have been the thing over his 5 seasons. He's a little bit older. But high effort, high energy linebacker who can compete for special teams and, early physical assignment, sound run defender. The other kid that they didn't sign was a little bit more of the who's the converted safety? Who is it? Riley. I forget what his name was.
Yeah, it was just
Riley Wilson. He was the former safety type kid that turned into yeah. But we'll see.
Daly, and then they also signed Kadarius Callaway.
Yeah, Kadarius Callaway. He's more of that kind of bigger back. I think he's 6 foot 210. Productive guy. Something that the Bucs don't have on their roster right now. Daly, he's just kind of you always want to have some competition for your specialists. They signed a punter. No one's competing with Chase McLaughlin. But, Evan Deckers, he's on a cheap deal, 1-year deal. You bring in Daly to kind of push him. He's a 6-year NFL vet. Holmes was the interesting one. He was the outside linebacker that they signed on the tryout. 22 career sacks, 45.5 tackles for loss. Small school, Tarleton State, played at Frostburg State before.
Wow.
But again, being able to get after the quarterback. Last year he had 8 sacks, 18.5 tackles for loss. Just someone who lived in the backfield. So right now they don't really have many guys that they can put on the practice squad. Maybe Muhammad Kamara. They released Whitney because they like this kid a little bit better than him, a little more upside. So we'll see if he can stick around in the practice squad. And the fun one of this whole group is Dean Patterson. Dean Patterson lives in Lutz, grew up in Lutz. I live in Lutz, so it's pretty cool. He attended Steinbrenner, one of my co-coaches over at the Lutz Chiefs. He was actually his coach at Steinbrenner. So came out in a try. He was at FIU. Then he went over to Georgia Tech, joins Eric Rivers, who I think has the opportunity to potentially make this roster and unseat Cam Johnson potentially as that special teamer guy with his speed and his ability. But Patterson, I think, is a really cool story. Coming home, try to earn a roster spot, and then he gets one. And now training camp, if he makes it there, we'll see what happens. Never know. But if he makes it to training camp, I think it's going to be one of like those feel good stories that you're going to see a lot of news outlets covering, a lot of papers talking about it, a lot of people talking about it. But I thought that was a cool one for sure.
It was, and you're talking about Yasir Holmes here. He got signed. I mean, they made moves today. They got Scott Daly, talked about it. Running back Kadarius Callaway, Holmes, Dean Patterson. Is that the fourth?
Yeah,
the fourth again, and then they cut Owen Wright, Wesley Brown, and Noah Short. So they've been busy. It's still a fluid roster. JC, appreciate the time. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you guys can find me at JC Allen NFL on X. All my stuff is there. My articles, my podcast, all that stuff is over there. Yeah, Pirate Parlay podcast. If you're not on X, on YouTube, on the Sick Podcast Network, you can check out all my podcasts over there. And yeah, I'll be on here. I joined Raid today. That was fun.
You were on with Ray today.
I was on with Ray today. Yeah, he was going off on a tangent. I'm like,
what were you guys talking about? Let me guess. He was talking about the stadium situation and keeping the Rays in St. Pete. Is that correct?
Yes, and I told them, hell no, they need to go to Tampa. I ain't trying to drive there anymore. We want it closer.
I can't wait till this deal is done, so we never.
But then he was like, "Yeah, but you're in Hillsborough County. You're gonna have to pay." Bro, I live in Pasco. Let those Hillsborough people pay.
That's fine. I mean, listen, I'm willing to pay for it. I'm willing to pay some of that money, especially with the Rays coming halfway and paying for most of it. And the talk is they're only 135 million. Listen, that is a drop in the bucket. 135 million. We're talking about.
You're gonna make it back in 2-3 years with the tourism.
What are we talking about?
Especially, and this is the part of the thing I was talking to Ray about too, is like, if they're going to build one of these entertainment complexes right across as well with the stadium, that's the biggest thing that Ray J has needed. Yeah. When you leave Ray J, you leave Ray J. When you leave a lot of these other stadiums like Gillette or SoFi, Gillette has a whole outdoor shopping mall with like 7 restaurants, a bowling alley, all sorts of different things. Like when you leave there, yeah, you can either dip out, or instead of, trying to fight all the traffic, go walk around, go play bowling, go go get some food, go shopping. Like you can do all these different things, and it helps kind of disperse the traffic from the area, and B, it attracts different things. There's no reason why there should be a draft in Minnesota and Pittsburgh in April and Detroit in April when Tampa is right here. The problem is there's nothing to do in Tampa. You're going to have it on the Riverwalk. Now it's way too far from the stadium. There's ample opportunity to have more events, more things that's going to bring more money into this city, into Hillsborough, into the surrounding counties. Because guess what? If someone's coming down now for a Rays game or anything like that, there's all sorts of stuff for them to do. And if they want to make it, especially travel-wise, right?
Yeah.
It takes me an hour to get to the Trop with no traffic on a game day. Now, if the game's at 5 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock, and I need to get there, and I'm leaving at 5, it's going to take me 2 hours to get to the Trop from where I live. Hour and a half, hour 45.
Yeah.
If it's in Hillsborough, and where you cut out a majority of that travel over the bridge. And it's not just for people who live in Tampa, Hillsborough, surrounding areas. Think about the people who live in Sarasota or Bradenton. Think about the people who live in Orlando or Polk County. Think about the people who live in Ocala and Dade City. Do they really want to drive 45 minutes to an hour to Tampa just to say, oh shit, we still have to drive another hour over the bridge? No, nobody wants to do that. Nobody does. And that's why the stadium attendance sucks. So bring it closer, bring it more inland. There's nothing to the west of the Trop, nothing but the Gulf of America.
That's it. Yeah, Gulf of America. That's all.
If you put it in Tampa, what's west of the Trop? All those diehard people who are going to be pissed about it. But if they're really fans of the Rays, they're still going to drive over the bridge now. Now it's your turn to drive over the bridge and support the Rays. And if they don't, then you know what kind of fans they were in the first place. So, you're opening up more money, more opportunity to have more fans in attendance. All this stuff opens up tremendously if you have it where it should be in Tampa. If not, you are severely risking not just losing the Rays in St. Pete, but losing the Rays in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's true. It's good stuff there, JC Allen. I definitely agree with you. And then on top of it, the ownership, they actually act like they care. And they've been owners for, less than Stu was. And, fans just gave him a pass. And now you got realistic owners who care about the product, who all they want is a new stadium so they can use that revenue to not only sign their own players, but go out there in free agency. There's an energy to this Tampa Bay Rays team, and I hope they continue it. And I definitely.
Hey, how many concerts were at the Trop last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, there was not many concerts there at the Trop.
How many concerts do you think will be at the new place as they build it?
Plenty.
And how do you think if the Rays own a majority of that and are making money off of that, right?
Sure.
Where do you think that money ends up going?
Hopefully ends up going to signing their own players. And again,
hopefully it does, right? And unless you allow this to happen, you'll never know. If not, you can cry about it afterwards.
Yeah.
If these guys are just, trying to get rich quick type deal, then you can call them out for it afterwards. But you gotta give them the chance to see, hey, if this all works out, are they going to do what they said and be more active in free agency, more active in spending? Once they're comparable to other teams, and we'll see. But you got to give them that opportunity.
I just don't think Major League Baseball would, sell to this team and make Stu Sternberg sell to this new ownership group, who, by the way, has a relationship with the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, if there wasn't something in the background that told them this deal is going to get done. Just my personal opinion, just everything that I've heard about this whole situation. JC,
it's like anything else. You have to make a stink to the public, right? You have to be like, oh, we're really pulling our legs here, but we can't lose them. But, there's a lot of money. But, is it worth losing them over this? You've got to play the game. You got to play the charades. You got to play. At the end of the day, it's going to get approved. They're going to have a new stadium there. It's going to take a couple of years. And then everyone's going to be happy. And they're going to knock down the Trop, and they're going to build affordable housing or something like that, or that little thing that they still wanted to build, or someone's going to move in, and then it's going to be all good. People will get over it. People will be like, oh, you remember when the Trop used to be in St. Pete? That sucked.
It's like that's good enough to suck right there.
JC, appreciate the time as always, my friend. All right.
Yes, sir. Talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later. I can't believe we got on with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, but Kennedy's all over it, man. He wants the Rays to stay in St. Pete. I just don't think it's going to happen. We could talk about that. We don't have to. Plenty of other things to talk about when it comes to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when it comes to your Tampa Bay Rays on the field. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll go out to some of these comments here, or we'll go back out to the phone lines. Let's go out to Mr. Let's see, where is it at? Mr. Sun Devil Dave, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. How you doing?
Hey, great job. Thank you for wasting my time, and goodbye forever.
There you go. Absolutely. By the way, talk about a waste of time. Backlash in Tampa. That was a complete and total waste of time.
I like Danhausen, though, and the mini-Hausens.
I guess. I mean, he's a funny guy. He can wrestle. He's entertaining. I just thought they would do something different when it came to his tag team partner, whether it was CM Punk or John Cena. And of course they don't. They do a funny gag. I get it. I understand. Everything else to me, I thought the women stole the show compared to everything else. Just my opinion.
Yeah. Is Mr. Allen still on board with us or no?
Huh?
Is that guy Allen or whatever, he's still on the line with us?
What do you mean?
The guy.
Oh, JC Allen. No, he's not on. He's gone.
Yeah.
Do you have a question for him? Because he's gone now. Yeah, he's gone.
No,
now.
I just, the bottom line is this. Look, let's talk about the Rays. 7th best winning percentage since 2016 in MLB, right?
Correct.
Okay. We're 4th worst attendance. We know that. Fourth lowest payroll.
Right.
They always put a great product in the field. So back in September of 2025, when they made this deal, Manfred was there, and of course the goofball miser was there with the new owners. So I mean,
yes.
Wheels had to be greased, right? The wheels were greased. There
Right.
were a lot of nods and winks and handshakes.
Right.
That basically, if these investors went ahead and bought the Rays, they knew that, look, we're going to have this deal done. And here we are in May of 2026, And, we're about a couple weeks away from this deadline to get this stadium going if they want to have it done by 2029, right?
Right.
Because 2028 is the last year of the lease.
Correct.
So they're hemming and hawing off for $135 million. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this should have been taken care of like months ago. And I know that they have to do the whole charade, but now you're playing around where they're going to have to stay at the Trop till maybe 2029 or 2030. You got to get this deal done by June so we can start, digging the dirt, right? Putting the shovels in this year.
Yeah,
right?
I think they'll get it done. I honestly do think it'll get done. Oh. If they're getting $135 million, Paul, they're come to some type of agreement, or maybe Major League Baseball comes in, steps in, and helps them out. Right. Who knows? But I think Major League Baseball wants to get it done. There's a reason why they sold to this ownership group in the first place. They have their connections. Anybody saying, well, they're not on the up and up. They are on the up and up. They've been more on the up and up with the 4 or 5 months they own this team than Stu Sternberg in the last 15 freaking years. Give me a break at this point.
It's just, there's a lot. Look, and the businesses around must be salivating. You're going to get 80 dates of Rays baseball, and there's really nothing there other than Mons Venus and Scores, and then Fantasyland and the Wing House, right?
Right.
Is that it?
Yes.
And the strip bars and the adult theaters. That's all it's over there.
Correct. I don't know
about
I
know about the adult theaters.
Oh, of course you don't. No, of course you don't know about the adult theaters there, Pee Wee Herman. Of course you don't. So very good.
So what I'm saying is that there's nothing there other than a couple strip clubs. So businesses should thrive. You're going to have more restaurants. You have an entertainment district. You have 80 dates, man. What is the problem? I mean, the local businesses, they have to be stumping for this. Let's get this ball rolling, man. What's the holdup here?
There's just some people they just got to go for and vote, and we'll see how it works out. And again, according to the JP Peterson show, he had a councilman on who said it was 99% done. So we'll see if it's going to get done. And once it gets done, we got you covered here on the Evolution. Thank God, because I don't want to have any more stadium conversations in the next freaking 15 to 20 years about this team anymore, because it's all we talk about and it never gets done. And I think it's more the ownership, the previous ownership, not getting it done, because I think the communities were willing to, come halfway, but the ownership wasn't willing to do that. They weren't willing to do what this new ownership has said they're going to do, and I think will do eventually. All right, what else, Dave?
And by the way, the first place Rays, and I think they're winning right now. They won tonight.
They already won 8-5. Yes, Rays won tonight. Absolutely.
There's your horn going.
Yes.
And I want to give a shout out to the USF softball Lady Bulls.
How about that?
Who are in the tournament, and also the Arizona State Sun Devils, who won the Pac-12 tournament.
There you go.
So they're both going to be in the World Series. I think there's like 3 UCF, USF, Florida State, Florida, of course, all going to be in it. Stetson. And, of course, Arizona State. So shout out to all the ladies. It's going to be a really big, fun tournament. Starts Friday. Try to catch a little bit of that when you can.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have for tonight.
Yeah.
I really want this Rays stadium to get done. We got to get going here by June 1st. We got to get the shovels in the ground, baby.
Get them in the ground.
Tropicana Field, man. I can't see it past 2028, man.
Yes, I agree. So, I completely agree with you, Sun Devil. Appreciate the call as always, my friend.
Thank you for wasting my time, and goodbye forever. Have a great night, buddy.
He's out of here. Thank you very much. Open phone line 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. I like Keontae Scott. I see him having 3 pick sixes in the first few games. I saw his pick 6 versus Ohio State. That's a Todd Bowles cornerback to return interceptions for 7. People should watch. Raise the flags. I learned a lot. Absolutely. We definitely going to have Trent Cooper on, the director of that. We're going to work on getting him on.
Oh, yeah.
As I talked about, June 6th, June 7th will be part of the Tampa Bay Card Expo there, where we have Leonard Fournette, Michael Pittman, Bucky Irving, Hardy Nickerson, Simeon Rice, Dennis Rodman on Sunday. So keep it locked here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to this guy.
Damn it, Jim. What the hell is the matter with you?
Jim from OHIO. What's on your mind tonight? Welcome to the Evolution.
Hey, I was listening to you read the webhead messages.
Yes.
Hey, somebody was talking about raise the flag. And it was a great documentary show.
It was.
But it seemed like I lived all of it, except for maybe the very beginning where I didn't
Well, I think we all lived that
Probably a little
besides
too
the,
young.
well, yeah, of course, 76. I
But-
wasn't born yet. I wasn't a twinkle in my father's eye at that point. The first 2 years
Right.
were awful. They were 0-26. But I remember
Yeah,
the
so-
stories. I remember reading books in elementary school about how bad they were and then how they were one of the fastest teams in NFL history. People always focus on the first 2 years being 0-26, but what they don't focus on is at the time before the Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville Jaguars that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were one of the fastest teams in NFL history to go to the playoffs. How about that?
Right.
And win a playoff
Yeah.
game.
So, yeah, I'm a true Buccaneers fan because I remember most of it except for the very beginning when they were talking about some of the older stuff. But,
Yeah.
Man, I love that documentary, Raise the Flag. So, yeah, if anybody get a chance to watch it, I recommend it too.
Watch it. Yeah, definitely. Like I said,
If you
we'll
haven't
work
seen
on
it
getting.
yet, if you're a Buccaneers fan, you'd love it.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll
Yeah.
definitely love it. Got to watch it twice or 3 times to pick up on some things. There's some great
Definitely.
stories in there and great history of the Tampa Bay
definitely
Buccaneers.
when Tony Dungy came in, I remember most of that. So,
I do too. I remember that time because and he was the third choice at the time. They interviewed
Right.
Spurrier and Jimmy Johnson and struck out on both. And there was talk that Spurrier was getting ready to leave because Spurrier at the time was a local fan favorite. He was the coach of the Tampa Bay Bandits of the old USFL. And they liked his run and gun, of course, offense with the Florida Gators. And there was talk that he was going to leave. And then at the last moment, he had a change of heart and he decided to stay with the Florida Gators. And then eventually, a couple of years later, I believe he went with the Washington Redskins at the time, now the Commanders, and didn't fare very well at all. So
I'm glad we picked Tony Dungy.
Yes.
Our history, so.
absolutely, it was the right pick at the time.
And,
Definitely built the defense.
There's a lot of coaches in this tree and Todd Bowles is one of them, right?
I don't think Todd Bowles is a part of that Tony Dungy tree, no. But
Yeah,
you're thinking about Mike Tomlin. You're thinking about Lovie Smith. You're thinking about Monty Kiffin.
Mike
You're thinking
Tomlin,
about
Lovie
Joe
Smith.
Barry. You're thinking about Rod Marinelli.
Yeah, they got what's the guy that does announcing on TV now? I forget his name.
Mike Tomlin.
No, Mike Tomlin just went, but I'm talking about he's been on announcing NFL for a while.
As a coach?
Light skinned brother. Yeah, he used to be a coach. Kind of, I don't know. He reminds me of a teacher a little bit.
For the Bucs?
Get his name though. What's his name?
Did he coach for the Bucs?
No, I don't think he ever coached for us, but he was he was an assistant coach, I think.
I don't know, man. You got me on that one. I don't know who that is.
I know who I'm talking about, but I can't remember his name.
Okay.
What else was I gonna say?
Yeah.
You been watching any in the NBA?
I have watched the NBA, yes.
I know the Magic.
Magic are done. They fired their coach. We'll see if they replace him with Billy Donovan or somebody else. There was talk.
I was rooting for the Magic in that last game because they had kept up. But when that guy hit that three on the who they playing?
It's inexcusable. You have the lead in Game 6. You have an 18 to 20 point lead, and you can't close them out. It's inexcusable.
You got to play both sides of the court. Man.
Shouldn't have got to Game 7. Once it got to Game 7, it was pretty much over at that point because the Pistons had the momentum. So I've been watching. I watched the Knicks sweep. Good for Knicks fans. I know there's a lot of Knicks fans out there watching basketball right now. So there you go.
Yeah, Cavaliers pulled it off tonight.
There you go. James Harden.
It was
How about that?
It was 112 to 103 Cavaliers over the Pistons. So, and it's 2-2 in the series.
2-2. There you go. So we'll see how that series goes.
The Lakers are trying to pull out a win. Down 3.
Yeah, they're deficient. I don't care if they got. I know your boy LeBron James, but you don't have Luka.
Yeah, they need that 30, 40 points.
And you're terrible defensively. You're just terrible. You're no defense at all by the Lakers. None. They got a problem.
Yeah, they need that 35 to 40 points a night for Luka. So.
Right. But even then, with Luka, even then with all the points, they can't play defense, and they're looking to sign Austin Reeves. And
we need a big man. We got what's his face? He can't get a rebound.
They got lots of money.
4 rebounds in a row.
They got lots of money to do something with. We'll see what they do. But Austin Reeves could take up a lot of that. He could be a third option on that team. We'll see if even LeBron James comes. I think LeBron James comes back, but I think he'll take less money. I mean, you would think he would take less money to help the Lakers out, but their problem is they can't play defense. They can't play defense worth a spit. Yeah, exactly. I've been watching.
All right, I'm glad you're watching, man. I don't want to hold you. I love the show.
Thank you.
I love you, guy. I wish we could have talked to your guest tonight.
Oh, JC.
I wanted to ask how he grade our GM.
I will definitely ask him off air, and when we have him on next time, which we'll have him on again, I will ask him straight up from Jim. Damn it, Jim. I will ask him what he thinks of Jason Light in that grade. All right? Promise.
All right, man. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right. We'll be back on Wednesday and, of course, Thursday. So tune into that for the schedule release. All right?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Have a good night.
Take care. All right. Good stuff there. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I miss Brady. Okay. Hurst and Emeka on the outside and CG in the slot will feed families. Good point. Let's go out to Abraham. Abraham, welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind tonight, my friend, here on a Monday night?
Oh, yeah. So I was listening to the whole thing. I know JC was talking about the stadium. I really like what he said because that's a sentiment that I agree with, especially JP Peterson and a bunch of other people.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, there's some friends of ours in St. Pete that are hung up on keeping it there.
Yep.
I love you guys.
Ray Kennedy.
What is best for all of Tampa Bay is
Hold on. That's who we're talking about. We love you, Ray. But, I don't think they're going to stay in St. Pete. I don't. They're going to go to Tampa. They're going to be in Tampa. That's going to be the deal. So.
So going to the Bucs, I know everybody's talking about the picks, but I've been focusing on the new coaches.
Okay.
The D-line coach has a lot of energy. He's really getting up in those players' faces, just trying to bring the best out of them. The special teams coach is a firecracker.
Danny Smith.
We're lucky to have him coming from Pittsburgh.
Right.
You know, Mike Tomlin retired or whatever happened.
Sure.
So, and then Zach Robinson's very hands-on. Like, he's from Lee and Cohen's, Trauma Bay Tree, but Cohen was more stoic. Robinson, he's hands-on with like Dave Canales was. He'll line up like a wide receiver. He'll huddle in the quarterback. And then his assistant, Whitmer, is also very hands-on. So I like what I think of the new coaching staff. So we talked a lot about the new player, but I like the energy that the coaches are bringing. So that's that's a lot of gives me a lot of hope for next year, and especially the draft pick. I think Jason Light, another great draft. He nailed every round. He addressed every need. I feel a lot better after the draft, and I'm really looking forward to the training camp. That's all. And you know what? It's a great time to be a Tampa Bay sports fan. Go Rays.
Yeah, go Rays, man. They win tonight 8-5. They're now 27-13, and they're taking care of the Toronto Blue Jays. Maybe put them out of their misery at this point because I believe they're 9.5 games out of first place. And again, yes, it is early on in the season, and maybe first place doesn't matter. But once again, if you lose enough games, you can definitely be out of it to where you have to dig out of that hole. So keep on making that hole bigger and bigger for the Blue Jays. And this Rays team right now, they're playing with a lot of confidence. Baker solidifying that role as their closer. Chandler Simpson, just amazing. Aranda tonight, he was the story. It's been Junior Caminero. It's been different players. Williamson, he's a gamer. Yandy, he's a guy. He's a player. You got DeLuca. I mean, they're just getting contributions every night. This offense, very well balanced. It's not just a power team. It's not just, chicks dig the long ball. It's also playing small ball, being able to bunt, which, let's face it, Abraham, this team hasn't been able to do that throughout the years, and now they're able to do that. They're taking advantage of the rules, especially with Simpson getting on the base pass. He's definitely dangerous. He's brought a new facet to this team that they haven't had in a long time. I'll go all the way back to, Carl Crawford at this point when he got on the base pads, and he was dangerous. So it's good to have that. It's definitely going to help this team. We know that they're going to go through a streak where they lose some games. Hopefully Rays fans don't freak out because that's baseball. It's a long season. But right now, one of the main stories in Major League Baseball is the Tampa Bay Rays. What else, Abraham?
I hope that stadium. I hope the county commissioner approve it so that we can have a stadium coming in, so all of Tampa Bay can enjoy it, not just certain parts of the Tampa Bay. So
yes,
I hope for that too.
All right, my friend, I appreciate the call. As always, we'll read the rest of these comments. We'll wrap it up. If we don't use the second call, but I want to let you know we'll be back on Wednesday nights, and then we will be back on Thursday night for the scheduled release. So keep it locked here. And then, of course, June 6th, June 7th, you're invited out to that Tampa Bay Expo.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely coming. You know I'm coming.
I know you will.
You don't even have to mention that.
I know you will, brother. I appreciate you as always, and again, your contributions to the show, all right?
All right, take it easy.
All right, we will do that. Let me go out to TikTok because I've been neglecting them real quick. Can't do that. We'll get out to TikTok in just a moment. In fact, I'm going to get out to TikTok. Tammy sending some roses there. Diamonds, appreciate you. Shine bright like a diamond. As Rihanna would say there. Tadast Win says, wave at me, Peter Blake. I will wave at you. How you doing? Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. I appreciate you as always. Instagram Live really quick, and we'll get out to Corey. I know he has something to say. Dad's figure it out. That's how you uplift people. Props to you as well. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Dude, I joined on the right night. There's never a right night. It's always a right night here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Corey. Corey, welcome to the evolution, my friend. What's going on?
Hey, my friend Peter, what's the gossip? You got some gossip tonight?
Oh, there's always gossip going on, man. I mean, you got Todd Bowles' comments on Ruben Bain Jr. I mean, did you watch the highlights on him hitting those sleds like a madman? Josiah Trotter. Man. I mean, there's a lot of great things to be excited about. You have Trotter, Todd Bowles talking about not only playing him inside, but also outside. And then also Keontae Scott, not only playing him at the nickel position, but also playing him outside. And by the way, have you taken the test? Have you liked and subscribed to Bucs Latest, my newest channel? They are part of the Fan Arch Network, 5 days a week. 10 to 15 minutes of Bucs content. Have you done that, my friend?
I haven't done it, but I'm going to work on that ASAP.
Bucs Latest.
ASAP.
Do it right. You know what? Let's do it right now. Go to your YouTube, look up Bucs Latest, and go ahead and subscribe to that because we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the week, and I think we can do it. Trying to build this channel up. Bucs Latest.
You need your stat by the end of the week. I got you, man.
I got you, brother. All right. What's on your mind?
Okay. So we talk about the Bucs. Okay. Using Jeremiah Trotter on the outside, man.
Yeah.
That got to be like in a dime package or something.
Well, I mean, I think it's certainly possible, but he could definitely be a chess piece. He's also talked about how he has to prove it, and there's people out there saying that he can't necessarily, coverage drop because that's been the big emphasis by a lot of Bucs fans. Well, they picked the wrong guy. I don't know if you've seen C.J. Allen. I don't know if he was going through arthritis through his knee or has a degenerated knee or something. He looks slow to me. Somebody needs to tell him to run faster.
They've been saying he's slow, Peter.
He looks slow, bro. He looks slow and stiff. And everybody's saying, the Bucs made the wrong pick there with C.J. Allen. I'll just say, listen, I'm not a GM. Don't play one on TV. Maybe one of these days, if somebody wants to let me wreck their team, I'll go ahead and do that. But I'm going to go ahead and trust Mike Greenberg, Jason Light, and those guys over there, Mike Bill. They know what they're doing when it comes to Trotter. He's got that pedigree, and he knows that he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder, a great attitude. He's got to prove himself. And I think that's the great thing about this team. They got to prove themselves, offensively, defensively.
I know a lot of people talk about the pass cover, man, but it ain't easy, man. The linebackers, man. You know what I'm saying? And like if you get like a running back on an angle route or something on a Texas route, it's hard covering them on a wheel route.
Yeah.
It ain't easy. People you can't cover it. It's not easy, man.
No, it's definitely not easy. A lot of Bucs fans know this all too well with Money Mitchell Trubisky exposing the god-awful defense that was whatever the hell that was at the time. I think it was Mike Smith's defense. God-awful defense for 5 touchdowns, and it was on a wheel route. They still can't defend that damn wheel route. I hate that damn wheel route when it comes to linebackers trying to cover it. So you're exactly right. So, again, the proof will be in the pudding. We'll see if Trotter can do it. He has the athleticism. He has the high ceiling. It remains to be seen. They got Anzalone. He's going to be better coverage. I think he's going to be a better upgrade. They got some linebackers here. That'll be
that boy Anzalone, he's a damn good coverage.
Yes, he is. Yes, he absolutely he is. I mean, that's the reason why you got him in the first place.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I seen Bang hitting them sleds, man.
Did you not like that? I mean, Bucs fans talking about short arms and the guy. Yeah, I know that people are there's just some people who are pessimistic on Facebook and social media. It doesn't matter. Again, it's just like the Notebook all over again. What do I got to do to make you happy? What do you want? What do you want from me, Bucs fans? I mean, you get Ruben Bain Jr. It's not good enough. Well, you have short arms. Did you have short arms at Miami? Did that show up? Was the tape enough when he was dominant? When he's one of the most dominant college football players, not only defensively, offensively, just one of the most dominant college football players. That wasn't enough. What do you want? I don't know what people. I don't know what Bucs fans want. Sometimes I don't.
Hey Peter, did you see his shuttle? Did you see his bend? How he bend?
I seen it, man. I seen it. He could bend. He's coming in with a SAP jersey on. I mean, a black Bucs jersey, which, by the way, I don't think a lot of Bucs fans wore because first, it's about 198 degrees out during this time of the period when it comes, and it's it's 93 and it feels like 130 with the humidity at this point. It's basically like my cooking on Saturday night. You take your head, you stick it in the oven. That's what it feels like. So nobody's wearing a black jersey. But I love the shout out. You know, he knows the history of the game. He knows how important Warren Sapp was not only to the Miami Hurricanes, but also to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So you got to love that start and him hitting the sleds. And then what Todd Bowles had to say, I'm not surprised by this. They got a steal. And anybody saying, well, you know, Jason Light and Todd Bowles, they got lucky. Ruben Bain Jr. A lot of teams get lucky. You know, Bucs got lucky at 7 when they got Mike Evans. Okay, you don't discount them because there were 6 other teams that decided. One of those teams took Sammy Watkins at the time. Big mistake. And the Bucs could have easily been the Saints, which they're going to pay for that when they passed up on Ruben Bain Jr. The Bucs drafted him. So give him some credit. Give him some credit.
Hey, Peter, do you think he slid because of that accident with the girl?
I think there was the situation there, but I also think it's more of just teams, and this was talked about, that they didn't want to be that general manager that drafted him that turned into a bust because of his short arms, and they're paying too much attention to that and not watching the tape. The tape is where it's at. What did he do during the game situation? How did those short arms affect him? Again, I get it. It's a new beast. Booger talked about it. You're going to face a Tristan Wirfs. You're going to face him in training camp, not during a game situation, but you're going to face a guy like Trent Williams, who, he's 36 going on, 26 at this point, still getting contract extensions. And why is he doing that? Because he's a veteran. He knows how to use his hands, his hand placement. He knows how to block. So you're going to have to face that.
That's the question I got for you, Peter. What's up with the law? I mean, the man can go speed or power. Sometimes he just goes straight power, and he can set the edge. I see him set the edge. So what they want him to have long arms so he can shed and set the edge, or what? I mean, why they want? What's up with?
I got something for you. I got to surprise everybody because I didn't mention it. I just remembered it. We got Desmond Walker, who's a pass rushing specialist. He's a coach. We're going to have him on at 9:30, and he's going to give us the skinny about Ruben Bain Jr., about Yaya Diaby and Kalijah Kancey. We're going to talk about this pass rushing core here that the Bucs have, and he's going to break it down for you guys, because I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about pass rushing, but the Samurai sack there, he knows what's going on when it comes to sacks and pass rushing ability.
I need to know, because
9:30.
He set the edge. I mean, he ain't lose contain. He did everything right, huh?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, I don't understand it either. I don't understand it. I think some teams got cold feet. I think they overthink it, right? I mean, general managers, owners, they're not perfect, right? We know Jason Lights missed on some players. We know every general manager's missed on some players. Hell, half of the NFL missed on Tom Brady. How was Tom Brady drafted in the 6th round? How was Brock Purdy drafted the last pick in the 7th round and turns into a quarterback? It's happened before. It's going to happen again. And, how did Warren Sapp? What was that about? Was it about the allegations? You know, some of those allegations were fake, and I know for a fact that a team made that up to drop his stock down. It's a game. It's a poker game, my friend. They're playing poker at this point, so I think it works out in the Bucs' favor at this juncture, and we'll see how much it works out and what type of impact Bain Jr. can make for this defense. But I think it's all good at this juncture. I don't know why teams pass on him, but thank you very much. We'll mail a Christmas card to you, Cleveland Browns, because you pass on everybody all the time, and everybody that passed on them, the Saints and the Chiefs. There was some upheaval there.
The Chiefs needed a pass rusher,
and they passed on Reuben Bain Jr.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Good. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
I got one last question for you.
Go for it.
Do we win the division?
Yes, unequivocally, they win the division with at least 10 or 11 wins. How about that? Schedule release or not. I know you're with it. That's why you're with me here on the Evolution. That's why I love you, Corey. Keep on calling, my friend.
I love you, bro. Be safe.
All right, we'll be safe. We'll be back on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, so tune in. We'll have Desmond Walker at 9:30, and then, of course, Thursday night, tune in. And by the way, Corey, you're going to love this. I talked about this tonight, Bucs fans. It's like our Bucs Radio Row show here. We'll have Michael Pittman. We'll have Bucky Irving. We'll have Leonard Fournette. Everybody says playoff Lenny. I say Lombardi Lenny. I'm going to throw that out at him. We'll be at the Florida State Fairgrounds live June 6th, June 7th. Dennis Rodman on that Sunday. You got to tune into the Evolution. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Stepping the game up.
I see you, Peter. What?
Yeah, man. Just enjoy it. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Trust me. There's a lot of big things to come, especially June 6th and June 7th. All right?
All right, man. Be safe.
All right. Be safe. Absolutely. Hopefully I can be safe. Be safe from that heat. Be safe from cooking. I can't cook nothing. Burn a grilled cheese. Serious. Thank God for air fryers. Again, I'm making that shirt. Air fryers save lives. I know what they say. Thick thighs save lives. Okay. I'm a single man. Air fryers save lives. I'm sticking to it. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. All right, we'll read the rest of these comments, and then we'll get the hell out of here for the night. 110% at all times, Reuben Bain. It's Tampa Bain. Again, working on that sound effect. I will get it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Emerson Ryan. Again, new webhead. Thanks a lot for tuning in there. Always love that. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook. Facebook stars are open. YouTube Super Chats. You like the content? Give to the content. I ain't John Gruden, but I challenge this defense to get at least 7 touchdowns on the season. Let's go, Bucs. Show us what you're working with. He said, let's go, Bucs. Let's go, Bucs.
Wait up, little boy. Yep. Wait up.
Top bowl. It is exciting.
Fire the cannon.
Absolutely, Byron.
How about them Bucs, baby?
How about those Bucs, baby? All right, good stuff there. Emerson, again, special teams is just as important as offense or defense. I don't know why people are sitting there saying that it doesn't matter. How many field goals did we get blocked on last year? Just saying how many punts, how many missed tackles. The kick coverage was absolutely garbage. What do you think about that, Tom Brady?
That's good enough to suck right there.
Absolutely. Be cursing out the special teams with the way they played last year. Everything is important, especially field position for your defense, which, by the way, gave up an atrocious 68.9% of a red zone. Forget about it. That's got to improve. Awful. And definitely special teams cost you last season. Let's go out to Brent. That's the Gulf of Mexico. All right, Brent. Emerson, no, because if Baker throws a pick, he will blame everyone but him. Laugh out loud. Brent still on that Baker train, that hate train of Baker. Last-minute game picks don't help. I hear you there. Emerson says special teams was super suspect through they could have done a lot better to help us through a lot of those games last year. It's why you hired Danny Smith from Pittsburgh, 72 years old. You wouldn't know it by the energy that he's showing in these practices. Miles Killebrew, special teams player, lots of special teams guys that they're trying to, again, make that unit better. I've given up on special teams. Don't give up. Never give up here on special teams. Ha, ha, ha. Would be nice to have that third dimension, though. Absolutely. Kyle Shanahan, that's one. Coach San Francisco 49ers, Sean McVay. That's another coach that was in the building there with John Gruden. Kyle Shanahan was a little ball boy assistant coach of some sort for a long time there. Again, McVay also watched the Raise the Flags. It was good. Jameis said he played hurt with a bruised rotator cuff, okay? But Jameis didn't get the injury excuse he was blamed for every loss. It's not true. We We had 3 friggin' hour shows here, Brent, a long time ago about the injury situation. Not only the injury situation, the turnover situation, how he wasn't getting help, how his receivers weren't running the right routes. We have talked about it. I've given him credit, but it is what it is. The Bucs moved on. They went behind door number 2. They got Tom Brady. They were right. They won a Super Bowl. And one of the most important Super Bowls in Tom Brady's time. Yes, it was. You know why? Because it alleviated the conversation about how Brady had to do it with Belichick. He did it without Belichick with BA and crew. Jameis was explosive for either 4 or 5 touchdowns or 4 or 5 interceptions. You just didn't know which was coming exactly, especially the first 2 throws of the game. First throw of the game. My goodness. LeBron means LaFlop. Goats don't flop and beg for fouls on every play. King Cook, is Curry a goat? He flops all the time. Get off LeBron and pay homage to what? Think Bain Jr. will be Levante David's replacement. We're paying homage. Let's pay homage to the Black Mamba there and Kobe Bryant and the greatest of all time, which a lot of you kids still should YouTube it and Google it. And by the way, look down at your shoes because you're still wearing Jordans. That's greatest. That's the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan. Don't forget it. Sorry. Man, I wanted that USF middle linebacker as an undrafted free agent. Agree. Jalen Schuler now, I believe, with the Seattle Seahawks, he's getting a start. Both of those linebackers, we'll see if they hook on. But remember them fondly. One of the bright spots of that USF defense, and it's a lot to say. USF Bulls defense, not very good last year. No. Emerson, I'll take old school Orlando with Shaq and Penny Hardaway. Add Tracy McGrady, my favorites. Jordan still the GOAT. Kobe, number 2. Agree with you on that. What could have been? Just watch that, right? You had Shaq. You had Penny. You had Nick Anderson. You had Dennis Scott. You had Horace Grant. They get swept by Houston. They come back the next year, win 60, and get swept by the Bulls and Michael Jordan in that 71 team. And then Shaq walks out the door because the fans didn't think he was worth $100 million. Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. I'll never forget either. My dad said, I will never watch an Orlando Magic game again after Shaq left. And he never did. It was a shame because he was a big-time basketball fan. Never forget it. And then, of course, you had Tracy McGrady. Grant Hill can't stay healthy. And they had a chance for Tim Duncan if Doc Rivers is able to close on the deal. By the way, if Tim Duncan asks you if his wife can go on the plane, yes, he can. Tim Duncan's an Orlando Magic player. True story. Now back to football. Laugh out loud. James, I was talking about Herman Edwards. There's another one. Nobody in the past 20 years is a GOAT besides Kobe. Kobe is better than LeBron by a mile. King Cook, if David Walker has a breakout season, we should use Yaya's trade comp. He's not worth $20 million a year, in my opinion. We'll see. Emerson, appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
King Cook, again, y'all be acting like LeBron didn't come into the last of the tough guy era in the early 2000s when he was 6-time all-defensive team used to get off on Kobe. Y'all never wanted to give LeBron his just due. I also remember LeBron facing a Boston team and getting his brains beat in. And the reason why he went to the Big Three for the Miami Heat is because of the Boston Celtics there with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. And who was the other player at the time? Rondo? Oh, we forget that. Oh, revisionist history. Gotta love that. LeBron had to adapt to what the game turned into. LeBron stayed getting fouled and beat up all game like Shaq. Come on, bro. He would not make it in that 80s era with the bad boys. Detroit, the real Detroit basketball, Detroit Pistons, Bill Lambert, Rick Mahorn, Dennis Rodman, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars. Please don't let me talk basketball with you because I'll definitely be able to. Can we get a damn kick return or a punt return for a touchdown? How about a block punt or a field goal? That'd be nice. Brent says, with Brady, that added 2 Hall of Famers and a Pro Bowl running back. I'm sick of the Brady was the only reason why the Patriots won. Of course, there was also a defense there. Kobe had Shaq for 3 rings. People forget about this. LeBron never had Shaq. Never. LeBron did have Shaq in Cleveland. It was a washed-up Shaq, but he had Shaq. He also had Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. He had Kyrie Irving. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Come on. Don't do that. You'll give LeBron that Orlando Magic team with Shaq and Penny. How many chips did they win? Well, you're absolutely correct about that. How can we make a comparison when Jordan has won more than championships than LeBron, and LeBron has played 20 years to MJ's 12 years? Agree, Chris. Thank you very much for that. We'll check these other comments. We'll get out of there. let's see, without Bill, there is no Brady. Just like without Bill Walsh, there is no Montana. But with that being said, Brady still won without Bill. Bill never won a championship without Brady. Okay? Yeah, Peter, but what team did LeBron have in Cleveland when he lost to the Celtics? I'll wait. No one all-star. He was dragging these teams into the playoffs. I get that. Okay? But the greatness of Michael Jordan is he was able to endure that. He was getting his brains beat out by those Detroit Pistons teams. And what did he do? They got Pippen. He got him better. He used the players around him. Instead of LeBron doing that and developing those players around him and getting better as a player, he decided to go to Miami. And that's the reason why you have free agency at this juncture, because LeBron James. Kyrie came later. Stop it. Yeah, he came with Cleveland as they won the championship for the Cavaliers. I remember. Thank you, Peter, for that. Thank you. Absolutely, Emerson. I gotta give some history here. Like, come on, man. I'm not saying LeBron's not one of the greatest, but the greatest player of all time? What, longevity? Come on, bro. How many players did he have around him? How many coaches did he get fired? Stop it. All right. On that note, we'll wrap it up. We got another comment here. King Cook battling me. MJ always had Scottie Pippen always. MJ also had a great player around him and great defenders. Don't do that. He also made those players around him better. He made Paxson better. He made Kerr better. He made a guy like Bill Wennington and Craig Hodges. Come on. Come on now. Horace Grant. Bill Cartwright. He made those players better. These are not, good players. Maybe mid players, but they're not great, talented players like LeBron had to have. Stop. All right. Emerson. LeBron doesn't have no clutch ability. He's skilled, can score his points, but he's not the come-through clutch player that's going to win you the game in the end. He's going to blow that three-pointer. And then on top of it, if it's not for Ray Allen hitting that three from the corner, the Miami Heat don't have as many championships. Oh, by the way, Kawhi Leonard called. He said he was the MVP of the series. Oh, by the way, Dirk Nowitzki called. He said that he was one of the MVPs of the Dallas Mavericks. Stop it. Please, don't do this. Oh, so LeBron never made those trash players around him better. Stop it. Well, he made them better, but they weren't trash players. A lot of those players were Hall of Famers and All-Stars. So let's not act like LeBron didn't have anything around him. Jordan made those players stay with the same team for the majority of his career. He relished the challenge when he was getting beat down. LeBron showed that he couldn't do that. That's why he went to Miami in the first place. All right. Go back and watch the tape and see how many clutch shots LeBron has hit in his career. He's hit some. He's not the GOAT. Sorry. On that note, I appreciate the time here. Going back and forth when we're talking damn basketball. You got to love that basketball, football. Talk enough basketball. Talk basketball tonight. Talk baseball tonight. Talk Bucs tonight with JC Allen. Thanks a lot to him. Congratulations, my friend, on your 6-year anniversary. We will be back on Wednesday night. We'll have Desmond Walker, pass rushing specialist. We'll get the skinny on these pass rushers. And we'll be back on Thursday night for your scheduled release party. It never stops here. The work never stops. So don't you stop. Continue to go ahead and support all these great sponsors. You don't have to go far. It's Up the Block Barbershop, 4946 Moog Road in Holiday, Florida. Whether you want a haircut, beard trim, fade, they got you covered. Go see my friend Ricky and tell him the Rolex reporter Peter Blake sent you. You get a discount on that. The Fan Arts Network, Bucs latest. Where you at, Bucs fans? Like and subscribe to that. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers. Let's get there by the end of the week. And as always, like and subscribe to the Sports Web. Again, friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars are open. YouTube super chats. But everyone says LeBron ain't clutch, though. Stop hating, folks. Go Bucs. Yes, go Bucs. And Jordan took the Wizards to the playoffs. Daddy did.
Fire the cannon!
Very good. On that note, we'll end it off there as the housemates are in the house, so we'll keep it down for you. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on Wednesday night. 3 things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, especially you Go Bucs fans, you Raise Up fans, it's your time. We'll see you next time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. As we always say on this show, Go Bucs, and Michael Jordan is still the greatest.